Warnings for areas like the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, 1 to 2 feet. The Great Lakes, we're looking at monster waves with winds gusting over 50 miles per hour. And we're going to be looking at lake effect snow for places like Erie, Buffalo, and Rochester.
CBS's Bradley Blackburn.
Parts of New York State could see more than a foot of snow this week. Here in New York City, the problem is a blanket of dense fog that wrapped skyscrapers and slowed air travel.
As you can tell, it's pretty windy out there right now.
At Chicago O'Hare, conditions brought some planes to a stop. There have been thousands of cancellations and delays nationwide over the last few days, with more expected this week.
Travel worries aside, they're gearing up for New Year's Eve in New York City. The confetti has been tested.
3, 2, 1, Happy New Year! Oh my golly! Look at that confetti go!
On the big night, nearly 3 tons of confetti will rain down, a world record. Pending sales of existing homes climbed more than expected last month, and analysts say holiday shopping topped last year's haul. But because of concerns, more Americans hit thrift stores and stuck to their shopping lists. On Wall Street, stocks were lower. This is CBS News.
Sponsor Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Educational goals for the new year, with a series of new laws taking effect in just a few days.
Topping the list, a total ban on plastic grocery bags. The new law closes a loophole that previously allowed thicker, reusable plastic bags. Daniel Duchesson has been stocking up on paper bags.
We always have a stack of them, a smaller stack of them in the trunk of the car.
Customers will be able to buy paper bags at checkout. Meanwhile, another new mandate will require school districts to implement strict policies limiting or banning cell phone use, mainly to curb distractions. Matt Bigler for CBS News, San Francisco.
There are some apparent changes coming to Gmail, the world's largest email account provider. You'll soon be able to change your username without losing all of your emails or data. I'm Cammie McCormick, CBS News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Confusion after a train.
WPHT, WPHT, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Linda Kerns. On Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
And good evening. If you are hearing the king of rock and roll on 1210 WPHT, it means Linda Kerns is here filling in as a guest host. I'm here for the Jimmy Fallon Show. We're on the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and of course on regular old radio on 1210 WPHT. I am here live and local in the city of brotherly love in the studio with the best producer in the world, or at least I'll tell him that today, Justin O'Terry. How are you doing? Oh, I said your name wrong again. I did that last week. Justin, why am I doing that? Justin Otero, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Linda. How about you?
I'm good, but I brought you a present tonight. Do you want to tell the listeners?
You did. You brought me 2 delicious slices of Alice's Pizza after me and Opelka had a somewhat lengthy talk about it, about the different pizza ratings around the city.
And last week when I came in, you complained that you hadn't had a break and hadn't had dinner. So am I the best guest host in the world or what?
You are the best guest host. Anybody who is willing to bring a poor producer some food for dinner, they are top 3, and they're not 3 or 2 in my book.
There you go. See? And I was over on Broad Street, and they're putting up the barricades up and down Broad Street, those parade fences. And when those parade fences go up, it really only means one of 2 things. Either one of our teams won a championship and there's going to be a parade down Broad Street, or it's time for the mummers. So which one is it? Well, what I did not see was anyone greasing the poles. So if there's no greasing of the poles, I'm assuming we didn't win a championship. So it must be for the mummers. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we still got a little bit of another month till we win back-to-back Super Bowls. So
I'm really surprised you're here tonight in a Flyers cap after that Eagles win yesterday. Where's your spirit?
17 total offensive yards in the second half will do that to a person. So
yeah, I don't think we completed a pass, right?
No.
In the
7 attempts, no passes, 17 total yards of offense in the second half.
Maybe they were trying to do that. Maybe just to kind of keep it interesting. Like, hey, we're so good. Let's try to win this game without completing any passes. Do you think they did that?
I don't think it was that, but they certainly didn't have any offense in the second half.
Kept it interesting. And then I was kind of wondering why the Bills went for the 2 points at the end, but then somebody who is a big fan of the Bills told me that they're on like their 4th string kicker and they don't have that much confidence in him. So
yeah, the Bills have been like the teams that have run through the most kickers. I think it's like them and the 49ers have run through a bunch of different kickers this year. So they were always going to go for 2 in that spot.
Well, I mean, it was definitely an exciting game, a nice way to spend a Sunday. When do the Eagles play next?
They play Sunday afternoon against the Commies.
All right. Well, I mean, despite not completing any passes, I thought we were looking pretty good. So I'm sort of looking forward.
Defense
to the Super Bowl.
looks like it can win a Super Bowl
exactly.
right now. Offense,
exactly.
We need to get there.
Yeah. So tonight we have some really interesting guests. We have Gabriella Hoffman. She's from the from the Independent Women Institute. She's the director of the Center for Energy and Conservation. I can't wait to talk to her because my electric bills are completely going through the roof. So I can't wait to talk to her about energy independence and what she's working on. And I want to ask her too, they always say that AI takes so much energy and it's affecting the grid. So I want to see what she says about that. We're also going to have on Gene Marks a little bit later. He's a CPA. I thought he'd come on because when he writes a lot of good opinion articles, and he often interviews me for those articles and gets my take on it as a lawyer. So I thought I'd return the favor and talk to him. He recently did write a piece about AI and jobs and the effect on the younger people graduating from college. So that'll be interesting to hear from him. And then my buddy Colby Cohen, who is a former professional hockey player, and he's the host of a podcast, Morning Cup of Hockey. Justin, I'm assuming you're going to have some hockey questions for him. I'm not really a big hockey person.
Yeah, I mean, he's an NCAA champion, won it back in, I think it was, I can't remember when Boston won it, because he went to Boston University, but they won the Frozen Four, I want to say in 2009 or 2010, but I know he's got some experience playing in, ECHL, AHL, some NHL experience, and I'm a big hockey guy, so I'm excited.
And he's a local guy. I mean, he's from around here, so he grew up around here. Colby once told me he doesn't like to be cold, And I said, I don't understand it, dude. You're a professional hockey player. Isn't it played on ice? I don't, like, where does that come from? So maybe we should ask him about that, like how he ended up as a professional hockey player for someone who doesn't like the ice. And then we also have on my friend, Dominic Episcopo. He is a local photographer he's pretty well known in the photography and arts industry. He just recorded or shot a really cool campaign for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia called I'm Catholic Every Day. And apparently the ads are playing around. So I want to ask him about that. I also want to ask him about just his business as a photographer. Things are changing so quickly. Everyone seems like they have an iPhone. Everyone seems like they know what they're doing with photographs and they think they're a professional. I think that professional photographers, they know the lighting, they know how to do it, and nothing will ever replace that. I also get very wary of looking at photos on social media because I kind of wonder, were they edited by AI? And sometimes you can tell and sometimes you can't. But I want to ask him if he has any tips for how you can tell whether or not something has been edited by AI, because that can be really, really misleading. I mean, I think all of social media can be really, really misleading. But if someone's doctoring up the photographs, I want to hear from him about how what he thinks about that. So if you are interested and you want to call in to talk to us, we'll always accept calls. You can ask Justin why he's not celebrating the Eagles. I really thought I'd come in and he'd have on all his Eagles regalia, but he doesn't. Our number is 855-839-1210. And Justin, how is that pizza? When I went to get it, I told the girl, I said, look, it's like a gift for someone. So just give me like a good slice that people would like.
It was, if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd say it was high up there, like an 8.5, solid crispy crust, the cheese, not a lot of cheese, which I was glad for. The sauce wasn't too sweet. It's definitely one of the better slices I've had around the city.
Well, if you're a good producer, maybe tomorrow night I'm filling in again for Jimmy Fallon, so maybe I'll bring you another gift tomorrow night.
Ooh.
But this means you have to be nice to me. You have to tell me about my timing. You have to, answer my questions on air. You have to also be nice to my other buddy, Matt DeSantis. So we're going to talk about that a little later. So we'll be right back after the break. This is Linda Kerns filling in for Jimmy Fallon on 1210 WPHT.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Imagine actually feeling merry, bright, and genuinely healthy this holiday season. With Rescue, that feeling starts now. Going on today, the Deck the Hall sale lets you save up to 78% off on high-quality, research-backed natural supplements so you can feel your best, enjoy every festive moment. Formulas are crafted with purity, potency, and real science behind every capsule. That's why customers rely on Rescue for their essentials. Powerful omega-3s, doctor-recommended cholesterol support, gentle but effective pain relief, advanced probiotic blends, and natural age-defying formulas that help you stay vibrant from the inside out. This season, give yourself the gift of feeling good. Stock up, save big, and step into the holidays with the confidence that comes from supplements made with integrity and backed by decades of results. Ordering is easy. Just go to res-q.com or call a rescue product consultant 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483, online at res-q.com for up to 78% off this holiday season.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Hey, Westchester. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
And this is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT. I am sitting in for Jimmy Fallon. Thank you so much, Justin, for that peppy Elvis music. I really appreciate it. And I am really happy to welcome our next guest, who I have something in common with, and I can't wait to tell her. I think she's going to be really, really surprised what we have in common. Gabriella Hoffman from the Independent Women's Institute. Gabriella, are you on?
I am on. Good to be on, Linda. Thank you.
Hi. So I really want to talk to you about energy because I have lots of questions, especially because my electric bill is just shooting through the roof. But I have to tell you, my grandmother is from Lithuania.
No way.
Yes.
Love it.
I never meet
Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
So.
And, she settled in Pennsylvania. I never meet people of Lithuanian descent. I mean, I consider myself an American, but I saw that in your bio.
Yeah, my parents are from Lithuania, and actually Pennsylvania has the not the largest amount of Americans of Lithuanian descent, but largest by concentration. Chicago has the most. But Pennsylvania, yes, is a known Lithuanian hotspot in the U.S.
Oh,
so
there you go.
Cool.
I never knew that. Well, I love in your bio how you say that they, they escaped the Soviet Union, and that instilled in you your love of freedom and liberty and limited government. And maybe that's where mine comes from too, because, I had a grandparent, and I know what that's like to not live in a free country from her stories. So I'm so happy to have you on. So can you tell me why my electric bill is shooting up?
There's a multitude of reasons. Pennsylvania, interestingly enough, even with Governor Shapiro, he hasn't totally chased a lot of the green policies. He's flirted with some, but he hasn't entirely chased it like New York and the Northeast. He made sure that Pennsylvania would not go into the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. But why we're seeing prices go up, everyone is defaulting to AI data centers. But we were starting to see electricity rise actually a little bit from the federal side of things, but it's utility operators who control the prices, not the actual energy producer. So a lot of people might be worried that, oh no, it's like a energy company raising my bill. It's not. They're utility operators, and they're responding to market conditions. And oftentimes why you're seeing, to your question, why you're seeing this rise in electricity, if you're looking at the blue states in particular, the green mandates to move away from reliable energy to that of solar, wind, batteries, and EVs, or entirely renewables, is what is largely actually fueling this increase. You look at any data that has come out recently, it shows overwhelmingly that electricity prices are above average in New York, Massachusetts, and the like. So Pennsylvania did not want to go that way. Yes, there are some concerns about PJM, which is the operator. But they have responded a lot to some of the policies coming from Harrisburg, and states are actually the ones that are setting a lot of these, they're responsible for bad policies, which then translate to higher costs. So, and premature power plant shutdowns. So that's why. So green mandates, phase outs of fossil fuels and the like. So all the policies that have not worked federally, that the Trump administration is unwinding, that you see at the state level, explains why you're seeing higher costs.
Got it.
And AI data centers might increase a little bit, but they're not really doing so much. And actually, in states where there are AI data centers, I live in Virginia, we've actually seen our prices stay below average a little bit. So there's not exactly a correlation between data centers and higher electricity rates yet.
Well, I keep hearing that AI consumes so much energy. So can you just explain to me how will that affect me if there's an AI data center?
Yes, and that is a concern to be had. And I talk to people who work at the intersection of AI and energy production. There are people like that who exist. I know someone who works at the intersection of natural gas and AI data centers. And what they're telling me, yes, you see, if you travel through Dulles International, Virginia, the big international airport we have here, we have Data Center Alley. We have the most data centers in Virginia. Not the prettiest site, but AI data centers come in all shapes and sizes. And in response to concerns about electricity consumption, water usage, land usage, a lot of these companies, whether they're tech companies that are building data centers or just solo data centers not tied to Google or Microsoft or whoever, they are becoming more mindful. They're constantly innovating, and they are employing a kind of dual recyclable system, a double helix system, where the electricity that is used and consumed is recycled within that system, and same with the water usage. And they have to be very careful, from my understanding, with any energy project. You have to make sure that your project doesn't have any water spill off, runoff, chemical toxic waste. So these data centers can't be approved unless they can promise that they're not going to ruin the environment. And they have to go through so many hurdles, like any infrastructure project, to get approval. But they're innovating so much because of these concerns from the public, which are natural to have, of course. And they're building smaller data centers. They're scaling up more. So you're not going to see in the future, let's say if there is a need for a data center in Pennsylvania, for instance, it's not going to look like a typical data center you've seen on social media. They're becoming smaller. They employ like a recyclable system, so they're not wasting water or electricity, and they're repurposing it within the building. So a lot is changing with that, and it would be nice to have more access, and I hope to see a data center for myself, because if they demystify it a little more, then the public will probably not be afraid. And I'm not, yes, data center every inch of the United States. No. I'm practical. I think everyone's practical, but we need it to beat China in the AI race. And because it demands so much energy and it uses water, that's where all of us who work on the policy side of things are concerned and want to make sure that policy shapes out well. And the Trump administration largely has good guardrails in place, and I think we can confidently look to them, and they'll keep water and electricity considerations in mind. But they come in all shapes and sizes, and they, like every other project, especially that has to go through government vetting, they have to pass a lot of tests, and they have to go through permitting. So it's not just they get approved and that's it, but they have to promise that they don't have an environmental negative consequence either.
Well, I spend a lot of time in the Pennsylvania mountains, the Poconos, and I've been seeing a lot in the newspaper that they want to build a data center up in the mountains, and almost everyone up there uses well water because you don't have town water, and people are just really, really upset. They're saying they don't want the data centers. You see the signs up by the side of the road, and I think it's all this, like, not my backyard. Like, it's good for America, but I don't want it in my backyard. So what can we do about that?
That's a struggle, and people, when opposition to solar and wind happened, a lot of the greenies dismissed it. But what I'm seeing now, it's not a contrarian position, but we've seen the same green people who are aggrieved that they're no longer getting subsidized, that they're no longer having this opposing and demanding a moratorium on AI data centers. So I do believe that there are some people who have reasonable concerns, but it goes back to kind of these greater interests who are pushing it because they're sidelined no more. Their preferred energy source doesn't work. It's not getting attention because AI data centers pointed out that to phase out fossil fuels, you can't have them for something that consumes electricity like a data center does. So it kind of put the green agenda on its head by exposing the inefficiencies, with the data centers and how renewable power is not reliable and doesn't work. And if you look at the electricity mix, you don't see this transition to green energy happening. On the contrary, you see coal coming back, you see natural gas, you see nuclear being supercharged. So all this talk of we're going to have this transition happen, it's not materializing. So they're scapegoating a lot of people. I'm not saying people, let's say in the Poconos, but I would say overall, if you look nationally, you see the radical environmentalists who are upset that they're no longer being favored, their preferred energy sources no longer being favored. So it goes back to that. So we can balance that with progress and making sure that they are built and constructed responsibly with the consent of the communities. There are communities that want them. There are communities that don't want them. Of course, you have to weigh the negative trade-offs. If a data center is known to be potentially harmful to a community, oftentimes they won't advance. So, of course, counties have discretion to decide what they want to do. And like I said, you're going to find some counties that welcome it. But it's going to be interesting, like with the renewable debate. I've seen this out west where you're going to see blue states say, well, we don't want this. But then they're going to demand that red states produce renewable power from so-called renewable sources and export that to their states. So they're going to say, not in my backyard, but then they're going to exploit red states who have the power and capacity and do that. So you're just better off building a data center in a few select places.
Do AI data centers, do they need to be subsidized? Because that was my problem with a lot of the green energy. I feel like if it's needed, the market will tell us, and it shouldn't need government's heavy hands. So do the AI data centers need that same kind of heavy hand that the renewables did?
I haven't seen any demand for it so far. I would not be surprised if a couple did. But my understanding is a lot of these tech companies they're not demanding the government to push in money for it. I don't know if some of the loan programs from the Biden era have been converted. I've only heard it for nuclear energy, not for data centers itself. But, if there was that type of cronyism, I think you'd even find criticism from those of us on the right as well. But I haven't seen any need because the tech companies and the data center companies themselves confront the money to do it themselves. They're not asking for subsidies. They might apply for some sort of incentive package in communities. That's what a lot of business or states and localities lure businesses.
Right.
Perhaps they're taking advantage of that. So that's very different, a little different from subsidies. But so far, I have not heard anything of that. But if that were to be a case, I think it's reasonable to ask why. If it's a tech company, they have plenty of money to do it. But I have not heard that so far. From anyone.
And these data centers, they have to be built. So that's jobs. I mean, that's tons of jobs, right, coming to the community.
Absolutely, yes. And I don't know if it's going to be like renewable. So all this talk of offshore wind, the cancellation, it's going to hurt jobs. There's a lot of pre-construction jobs that come with renewable energy, but then there's no long-term job. I have not seen that I've heard a little bit with data centers, there might be the same kind of trends there because a lot of these data centers, if they are self-operating, they don't really need people. It depends on the type of data center, how much security there is, or if they just work autonomously and without people, but they are powered by people. So it just depends. Some of them have a lot of workers there. It could be short-term pre-construction jobs. It could be right after the construction phase too. But like I said, I think the companies behind them need to kind of demystify them a little bit more to allay some fears and lessen some fears of the public. But I've heard mixed about how long the permanence is, but absolutely they will bring some jobs, and they might be the only type of incentive that comes to a rural area. I could think of a data center, for instance, like working in kind of economically depressed regions of Virginia and maybe former parts of Appalachia, where that could be the only thing that's like a saving grace, especially with years of overregulation to kill coal plants, and that could help juice up some of the economy there and maybe some nuclear and revitalizing of coal as well. So some communities will want this because it might be the only economic draw that they'll be able to have if they've been so burdened with government regulations or just lack of opportunities.
I like how you explain it. They should all be hiring you to just go out and explain it so that people just aren't so fearful. Because I think when you give the people the knowledge, they're not as fearful. They don't have this knee-jerk reaction like, no, I don't want this here.
Exactly, and it's the same with 3 Mile Island, now the Crane Clean Center. A lot of people, especially a lot of women, makes no sense to me, Linda, how that they were opposed to nuclear. And I understand because of Chernobyl and TV and Hollywood, they purposely wanted to make it so unsavory.
Yeah.
But nuclear is actually the cleanest. if we're talking about energy, and I don't believe we should phase out fossil fuels. I think they're a great supplement, perhaps one day a proper replacement. But nuclear has been, especially with Pennsylvania and people going to the former 3 Mile Island nuclear reactor, seeing that it's safe to restart that. I think the same can be done with data centers. Like I said, everything has a trade-off. It's not going to be erected and built in every single place in Pennsylvania, but it might be okay to welcome a couple data centers because everyone is on their phones. Everyone is using technology.
Right.
And if you're using technology, you're going to need something to back up that power. It doesn't come out of thin air. So
it's not
are you willing to
going
give
away.
up your cell phone? Yeah.
Well, Gabriella Hoffman, thank you so much for coming on. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you and follow you?
Absolutely. I'm on Twitter, Gabriella or Gabby_Hoffman, but check out Independent Women's Center for Energy and Conservation to keep track of all the stuff we're doing on AI, energy, and the like.
All right. Well, my friend of Lithuanian descent, thank you for coming on and have a very happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you so much.
And we will be right back after this break.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
The smartphone has made us stupid. We live in a society where you are just programmed now to have this thing in your hand. It's like an addiction. It's like smoking or drinking. You don't even know you're doing it. How many times are you in a setting where there's zero reason for you to have your phone in your hand? It's almost become a crutch in society to avoid social interactions with people.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra on Philly Sports Put to Music at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey, February 21st. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com!
Oh!
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. 1210. WPHT.
And we are back. This is Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy Fallon here on 1210 WPHT. We are live and local here in the city of brotherly love, the birthplace of independence. Justin and I are here in the studio, and if you'd like to call in, please do. Our number is 855-839-1210. You can get us on the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio, and on the YouTube. And the YouTube chat looks like there's a few people in there chatting, so that's pretty interesting. I have not read a lot of books this year, Justin. How about you?
I can show you how many books I've read this year.
So he's holding up a big zero. Well, what I did get into this year is audiobooks. And you can get them sometimes for like no cost or low cost. If you have Amazon Prime, you can actually get like an audiobook a month through your Amazon Prime subscription.
Did not know about that.
Yeah, I know. I just discovered it. And then if you sign up for your local library card, most libraries have an app, and you can get books on your phone or Kindle or whatever. I have the Kindle app on my phone, and you can also take out audiobooks from the library on your phone. So if in the town where you live, look and see if they have that feature, because a lot of places have it. And so I've been really getting into audiobooks, partly because you can do something else when you're reading or when you're listening to an audiobook. Like if you have a car ride, obviously when I'm in the car, I listen to 1210 WPHT. But every so often, if you want to change, or you having an audiobook on your phone and listening to it while you're in your car, or just while you're working around the house, if you're cleaning, just to have it on. I think it's a really cool way to be entertained. And there was an article in the Wall Street Journal, I think today's the 29th, that some audiobooks are actually outselling hardcovers. Apparently with the book industry, it's been hard for them to sell books, but what is getting sold are the audiobooks. People are either buying the audiobooks or getting them from their library. So someone's paying for them. So it's kind of like a new way to read books. And I guess if you're like a real true reader, like a snob. Now, don't say a snob like Matt DeSantis, who went to Harvard, because I know that was the next thing that you were going to say.
I didn't say it. I was thinking it.
I know you are. See, for the audience that doesn't know, Justin usually works with this other producer named Matt DeSantis, who I find to be just the best producer in the world. So smart, such a cutie, and Justin's just really just not nice to him. So I just constantly have to defend
Somebody
Matt.
has to keep his ego in check. He's graduated from Harvard. He's a successful executive producer. He's going to Johns Hopkins. Somebody needs to keep his ego in check.
So that's why you and Rich Zeoli are totally just always really mean to him?
Yes, somebody has to be. There has to be a yang to the yin of people constantly being nice to him just because he went to an Ivy League school. You don't want his head to get too big. You got to balance it out.
Well, I think you're mean enough that his head isn't getting too big, because he always sounds really beaten down.
Good. That means it's working.
By the way, you have to book me on Zeoli next week. When Zeoli comes back, I got to talk to him about this dog and see how it's going. Our friend Rich Zeoli, our 3 to 7 drive time host, he got a new dog over the Christmas holidays. And a dog always sounds like a really great idea. And the kids always say, I'll take the dog out. Don't worry, you won't have to ever do anything for the dog. I'll feed the dog. I'll do everything for the dog. And then you get the dog, and the kids are excited usually for the first couple days, and then it's usually mom and dad's responsibility. So I'm really interested to hear how Rich is making out with that dog. Have you heard?
He hasn't had any complaints in our group chat with me, him, and DeSantis. So also, I don't know how he's been going to New York pretty often the last few. I know last week he was pretty busy in New York.
Oh, because he's doing the TV.
He's doing Fox, and he was filling in for Fela last Tuesday. So he hasn't complained at all.
Okay, well, we'll see.
We'll see what happens when he rolls back around maybe in studio on Monday.
I do some TV, not very often, because it's such a time commitment, and I'm not a radio host. I have a law practice, so I'm supposed to be practicing law. But when I have done TV, I hope the listeners and the watchers understand that, the viewers, that it is such a huge time commitment. I remember I was on the Laura Ingraham show. I think I was on for maybe 9 minutes, and they had me in that hair and makeup chair for well over an hour. And that's pretty standard. I mean, that's what they do. But they do offer you to send a car and bring you there and everything. But it's a huge time commitment. Whereas radio, I can just show up here in the studio. I mean, you do have this YouTube camera on me, but it's not quite the same as having that television camera on you.
That $50,000, the multiple $1,000 cameras pointing. You get the big bright. Like we have some lights up in the studio, but they're not the
same.
The bright lights of Fox.
Yeah, and then you always have to worry about what people are, the face that you're making while the other person's talking. And so but if Zeoli likes it, I mean, more power to him. It's just not my cup of tea. I like radio so much better. So, if you are interested in audiobooks, definitely look for your local library to see if they have that app, because that can be your resolution for 2026. Get more into audiobooks. So we're going to take a break here at 1210 WPHT, and we will be right back. This is Linda Kerns. You can find me at Linda Kerns Law, and I am sitting in for Jimmy Fallon.
At Riverwinds Restaurant, every table comes with a view. Overlooking the Philadelphia skyline and the Delaware River, it's the perfect backdrop for a date night, family celebrations, or just a night out with friends. Savor fresh seafood, sizzling steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and desserts worth lingering over. When the food is unforgettable and the view is unbeatable, you're at Riverwinds in West Deptford. Make your reservation today. Call 856-579-7900. 856-579-7900.
Gold is now over $4,300 an ounce. Need cash to help pay holiday bills? Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Wednesday and get cash in your hands. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold is hot by going to the Estates Roadshow this Monday through Wednesday in Chestnut Hill at the Chestnut Hill Hotel or in Cherry Hill at TMT Cash for Gold. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-823-5544. That's 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544.
Now, you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
And we are back. This is Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy Fallon on 1210 WPHT. And I'm really happy to welcome our next guest, Gene Marks. He's a certified public accountant. He writes just a ton of really cool and interesting articles. And the way that I met him actually is he contacted me and he's interviewed me a couple times for his articles. He's asked me my opinions on different legal issues. So I thought I'd return the favor and have him on the show. So, Gene, welcome to 1210 WPHT.
Linda, it is great speaking with you, Linda. The tables are turned, I guess, right?
How about it? Yeah. Are you nervous? Are you nervous that now I'm going to interview you?
As long as you don't answer any legal questions, I'll be fine. Okay.
No. You're an accountant, so I'll stay in that lane. So,
fair enough.
So people can find you at your website is Gene Marks, Gene Marks, MARKS.com, and you list there all the different columns that you write, and you've really been published. You get published all over, right? Pretty frequently.
Yeah, I've been doing this for about 20 years now. I mean, I run a small consulting firm outside of Philadelphia, a 10-person firm, and for like the past 20 years, I've been writing. I wrote every week for the New York Times and every week for the Washington Post. And now I write every week for The Guardian, The Hill, Forbes, the Philly Inquirer, The Washington Times, and Entrepreneur. And I cover small and mid-sized businesses, in different areas. Forbes, I focus on technology and AI. The Guardian, I write about workplace stuff, which also sometimes involves AI now. And then I also cover public policy and taxes, things like that. So it's a lot of fun to do.
Well, everyone's talking about AI. Some of it I don't understand. I do know that in the legal world, a lot of attorneys are getting sanctioned because they have to write, we have to write briefs. We're attorneys and we write briefs and we turn them into court. And these attorneys are relying on AI and the AI makes mistakes and the attorney doesn't check it and turns it in. And the judges get very, very angry.
Justifiably so.
Yeah, and I think it's probably a combination of laziness and maybe just you're up against a deadline and you get desperate. But I think the number one lesson is don't just depend on AI. Check it.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, I think it's dopey when people like just depend 100% on AI. And I just wrote a piece for the Inquirer, the Philly Inquirer, which is coming out tomorrow, about things that business owners should be doing in 2026. Just some, 8 things they should be doing. One of those 8 things was, you should be leaning into AI in 2026. I mean, as much as you cannot trust it 100%, Linda, the popular AI chatbots, Copilot, and of course ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude and Grok, they've all gotten a lot better and a lot more reliable. And I don't think that any professional, and I'm going to include you as an attorney, I don't think that any professional should be, in their work life now without leaning into at least one of those AI assistants. You cough up to $20 a month, and you get the pro version or the professional version or whatever it is, and you use it a lot. And I'll give you an example. I mean, there is nothing wrong with getting help from an AI chatbot to write a brief if you're an attorney, or to write a response to something, or to even check what you have written. I tell my clients now, if you're running a business, there shouldn't be a contract, a quote, a bid, a proposal, anything going out of your office without first running it by your AI chatbot and getting their feedback on it and getting its advice. And it's just another expert in your corner, and they can add a lot of value. But like any expert, Linda, no offense, you're not right 100% of the time either, right?
Right. Well, I would say 99.
99 is pretty close. That's not so bad. But most of the time, AI chatbots are pretty accurate and pretty reliable, but you have to be smart about it. You don't rely on it 100% of the time, but it can provide you some really, really great insights. And I use it a lot in my job. It helps me, in a lot of cases.
When you say be smart about it, does AI learn? Like if I put something in AI that it hasn't seen before, is that more knowledge than that AI has?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you can change the settings in your AI chatbot to retain memory about you. And some of the chatbots, it's default. But it's just, Linda, it's like anything else. It depends on what your attitude is towards it. I use ChatGPT. I wanted to remember everything about me. I wanted to know me. I wanted to know what my diet is, what my exercise is, what I do for a living, all the conversations, because it then does take that knowledge and it helps when it gives me advice on other matters. So I think that's a benefit. Now, some people may get concerned because of the privacy or security of that data, but it's a decision that we all have to personally make, how comfortable we are with it. But the more information you give it, the more it knows about you and the more it can help you. And I think that's a good thing.
Well, as an attorney, what if I was working on like a secret deal, a confidential deal to maybe a business purchase or something where all of the details were confidential, and we had a meeting, and I went back to my office and I put all the information in the chatbot and said, here, write an outline of what happened at this meeting. Doesn't some of that personal, private, confidential, possibly attorney-client information then end up in the public domain?
So it's not necessarily in the public domain. And by the way, just because you're an attorney doesn't mean that you've got, you're the only one that has privacy issues. I mean, everybody that runs a business, everybody's got intellectual property. Everybody's got issues that they want to make sure that they want to keep protected. And the answer is this: yeah, it's going to be out there. Now, every AI platform, Microsoft, Google, Anthropic, OpenAI, who makes ChatGPT, they all publicly promise up and down that they keep your information private. They don't use it for any other purposes. It doesn't leave their vaults, and it's secure as well. And that is, I don't believe them. I mean, I always tell my clients that, maybe they're making their best efforts, but come on. I mean, how many times have you and I read, it's almost every week, where like some tech company divulges private information, or, oops, I didn't realize we couldn't sell that information to that political consulting firm for millions of dollars, you know? And how many times do you read about, our largest tech companies, our most secure platforms from Amazon to the Department of Defense getting hacked and that data, also being lost. And so no matter what these guys tell you, it's not 100% private and it's not 100% secure. And in your practice, and if you're running a business and if you're using AI, it's a decision you have to make. It's risk and reward. So, Linda, I mean, like you brought up your case scenario. If you were able to use an AI chatbot to write up, the summary of the case, propose a letter, use it in your practice, and it was saving you and your clients hours of time to do that, even though you're risking that data could be divulged, it's somewhere out there in the public domain, regardless of the promises made, you're going to have to make that decision. You're going to have to say, I'm willing to take that risk because it is going to save me and my clients a lot of my time. And I bet you there are many clients that would probably agree to that if it means lower fees or more productivity from you.
And that might be the client's decision. They may say, look, under no circumstances do I want this out in AI, and I want you to do it the old-fashioned way. And some may say, no, use AI. So this sounds like something that you really have to be transparent with clients about, and then you have to have clear policies and procedures about it too.
100%. And you can tell a client, I mean, listen, I don't know what you charge, per hour, $10 per hour, $15, is that what it is?
What I charge as an attorney? Yeah, no, a little more than that.
Whatever your fees are, if you go to a client and you're like, hey, listen, I do rely on this AI chatbot. It helps me. It will, it saves a lot of time. It is one of the tools that I use. If you don't want me using it, that's fine, but it is going to incur X amount of more hours and therefore more dollars for me if I don't use these productivity tools. You decide, you know what I mean? And clients can be given that decision.
Are there classes out there people can take so that they understand the best way to utilize something like this?
There are, but it's, I don't know, man, that's so 1990s, I mean, for starters, there's a zillion YouTube videos on any AI chatbot that you want to go to. You really want to learn, Grok really well, for example, which by the way is excellent. There's a million YouTube videos that will teach you. I tell clients as well, particularly companies that have a number of employees, cough it up, hire a consultant. You can find plenty on LinkedIn. Go to Microsoft, go to Google. You can get an expert, for an hourly rate to really dig into it and show you ways that you can be using it at your company, specifically tailored to your processes,
Right.
And, and I think that's worthwhile spending the time and money to do that. The other thing that's really important about doing this is for your employees. I mean, people are terrified that AI is going to replace their jobs, and they're not wrong. But, right now, these tools are productivity enhancers. And to get over that fear, the more training that they get in these applications, the more comfortable they'll be using them. And hopefully the better they'll be to appreciate these applications and be like, I can do the work of 3 people instead of just one person. I can have a better quality of life. I'm more productive at my job. I feel better about it. I think all of that helps if people invest in training.
Well, you just wrote a piece for The Guardian that AI coming for office jobs might be a good thing because it's going to shift jobs to other industries like construction.
Yes. I mean, people read about how AI is going to take jobs. And let's be for real. I mean, right now, even in its infancy, it is eating up software developers. It is starting to take the place of some customer service people in various big companies. If you're a wealth manager or hoping to get a Harvard MBA and then go and work at Goldman Sachs, well, guess what? In the next few years, they're going to be hiring a lot less Harvard MBAs because so much of the work can be done by these internal AI-based systems that they're developing. So there is no question that AI is going to take away a lot of entry-level jobs. But then again, Linda, what technology hasn't? I don't see many blacksmiths around.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
In London in the 19th century, there were people employed to climb up on street lamps and turn them on and off every day.
Right.
And in Paris, there were people that would shoot at people's windows with pea shooters to wake them up in the morning. They were called knocker-uppers because there was no alarm clock back then.
I think that was in an old movie, like Mary Poppins. I think had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's these are just examples of jobs that just don't exist anymore, and yet it seems like people find stuff to do. But I think there are plenty of jobs that won't be taken by AI. And I think those jobs, you mentioned the construction industry, which I wrote about in The Guardian this past week. I did some reporting and talking to trade schools, technical schools, construction companies. Number one, first of all, the construction industry is facing a massive deficit of workers. The immigration laws are scaring workers from, even the documented ones, from coming to work. People are getting older, so they're retiring, so that's not good. The industry itself is going to recover significantly in the next couple of years once interest rates continue to come down, and the people in that industry are nervous, but they are seeing an increase in applicants, particularly of younger workers that are coming into the field because AI, it can't take those jobs away. You become, a licensed tradesman, a master plumber, a pipe fitter, drywall, electrician. No robot is going to take your job anytime in the near future. We're way off from that. It's an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I want to wish you a very happy New Year. We'll look for your article in the Inquirer tomorrow. And I think I'll be guest hosting again, and I would love to have you back on because you have just lots of good information to give out. So
I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much. So people can find you at genemarks.com. Do you have a Twitter or any other type of social media?
Yeah, it's actually on Twitter or X. It's at Gene Marks. You can also find me on LinkedIn as well.
All right. Well, have a very happy New Year, Gene.
You too, Linda. Great speaking. We'll talk again soon.
Okay. And this is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT. We will be right back.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and take a complimentary class this Thursday, and I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money.
Albert can get me up to $1,000?
Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000. Use code SAVE to get up to $1,000.
It's open enrollment time at Penny, PA's official health insurance marketplace. Already enrolled through Penny? Plans and prices change every year, so update your info, shop for plans, and stay covered. Don't have coverage? Visit penny.com. Plans cover a wide range of medical services and free preventative care. Plus, we're here to help. Enroll today. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars. Because you're worth protecting.
Political advisor to Iran's supreme leader says aggression will be met with immediate harsh response. The president has mentioned a strike in Venezuela. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
This appears to be the first known strike inside Venezuela. The president said it was on a major dock area where drugs are loaded up, but didn't say when it happened or where exactly. Neither the White House nor the Pentagon have responded to requests for more details.
Also, U.S. Southern Command says 2 people are dead after a strike on a vessel traveling along known narco-trafficking routes in the eastern Pacific Ocean and engaged in drug operations. The man accused of planting a pipe bomb outside both the DNC and RNC headquarters on the eve of the U.S. Capitol riot gave a detailed confession after he was arrested. Federal prosecutors also say Brian Cole Jr. had concerns over the 2020 election. CBS's Scott McFarlane.
He has not entered a plea in this case. He has not had a chance to say his piece. In the charging documents, the feds allege that Brian Cole told them he had no connection to January 6th, that it was not related to that, but that he put the pipe bombs outside at night because he didn't want anybody to die.
Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Sherfilis McCormick declares her innocence after a brief appearance outside a Miami federal courthouse where her arraignment on charges of conspiring to steal millions of dollars in FEMA COVID funds has been postponed until January 20th.
We look forward to our day in court so we can prove our innocence. A lot has been said about what was done, but it was never done. There's no place ever in my life where I was ever accused of anything.
CBS's Jesse Mitchell on the top earners at the box office over the holiday weekend.
Avatar Fire and Ash is burning up the Christmas box office with $88 million in ticket sales over the 4-day weekend. Marty Supreme smashed expectations with the Timothée Chalamet-led indie biopic picking up $27 million for its extended weekend debut, and Zootopia 2 continued its blockbuster run with another $25 million in sales.
This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
You take your family out to a fancy steakhouse for the holidays and run up a bill of $500. A profitable tab for the restaurant, right? CBS's Christopher Cruz says it is not.
A high-end steakhouse in Chicago would make just $25 profit on that $500 meal. The Wall Street Journal says the restaurant's cost for that meal for food and alcohol will total $190, labor $175, and $110 on rent. What's left? $25. The restaurant is paying 40% more for steaks this year than last. One reason? Cattle herds are the smallest they've been since the 1950s. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
The New York City transit system is retiring the Metro card after more than 30 years. The gold and blue swipeable card was introduced in 1994 to replace the subway token, which had been used for half a century. The last sales and refills on Metro cards will be this Wednesday. The MTA is fully transitioning to a contactless payment system. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Linda Kerns on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And welcome back. This is Linda Kerns with a big smile on her face because Justin's playing Elvis music, which is the best bumper music, I think, on any radio station. So when we were coming back from break, Justin said that we have a caller on the line, and I got this huge look of fear on my face because my brother keeps threatening to call in because he figured out how to use his phone to write these truly awful AI music songs. And he thinks he's going to call in and we're going to play them and he's going to get some type of a record contract. So when you said that we have a caller, I really, like, my heart skipped a beat. Like, oh, what am I going to do here?
You looked at me and I was like, that wasn't the look I was expecting to get when you told me. I was like, is there something I don't know?
Yeah. So if anyone, so you really have to scream because he knows that I don't want him calling in. So he might call in and use another name or something. So you're really going to have to be a good screener. But we do have an actual real caller on the line who wants to talk about something actually very intelligent. We have David from Lexington, South Carolina. David, are you on?
Hey, Linda, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I don't know if I would be intelligent, but I got a little information, I guess. But I've been a geologist now here for about 30 years, and I do specifically hydrogeology. And about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we started having these little microquakes down here, and nobody really has pinpointed exactly what's happening. But my suspicion is massive amounts of groundwater being withdrawn for these farms and other large corporations that require lots of water. So that's one thing I think about when people talk about data centers. They talk about the environmental impact with power usage, but I always point to the water. There's so much water that's used for these things, and you're going to have to pump it out. And my fear would be that, and I don't know the geology of Pennsylvania, I'll just say that. I know South Carolina, but my fear would be that you cause some type, almost like fracking. You saw what's happened in Oklahoma over the last, I guess, decade or so.
Absolutely.
With a lot of the fracking. Now, nothing major. I mean, these are not the kind that rattle buildings and cause damage or anything, but you notice them. And so that's just one thing I think about when I hear about these data centers is the water usage and what sort of peripheral impacts they might cause.
Well, can you explain to me why a data center would need so much water?
Cooling.
Okay, and they just draw that out of the ground?
Right. I mean, you're going to have to obviously drill wells and pump that out. And when I hear you talking about the Poconos, again, I don't know the geology of Pennsylvania very much, but you're going further from the source of water, so I don't know why you would go higher in elevation to get to the water. But yeah, it's just something that doesn't get talked about a lot is the water usage and requirements. And so hopefully, I don't know what the Pennsylvania process is for permitting, groundwater withdrawals, but hopefully people are on the up and up and making sure that they're going to make sure the appropriate amounts are pulled out. There's not too much being withdrawn, and it's going to cause other problems down the road, other wells going dry and things like that. So it's one thing people really need to think about is the water usage. I'm not necessarily for or against these things. I'm just kind of think about it,
David, when construction or data centers or any type of utility uses this water for cooling, what happens to that water? Is that water then contaminated? Like, how do you get rid of that water?
I don't suspect it's really so much contaminated, and the thing is, it is recirculated. It's like a radiator in a car. So you're not using every bit that you pull out, but you are losing some. Obviously, you're not going to have 100% efficiency, so you're going to always have to pull some water out. But everything I've read about these things is they use a lot of water, and it is for the cooling. But I go back to making sure that hopefully whoever is regulating up in Pennsylvania is making sure they consider that kind of stuff, because like I said, we've had, dozens, I think, down here in South Carolina, little microquakes over the last few years. And that's my suspicion, is just massive groundwater. It's just the earth kind of resetting, just kind of settling back. Like if you have a drink and you drink and you have the ice cubes in there, at some point they kind of collapse a little bit. And that's what I suspect was happening here.
Okay, well,
but I just kind of wanted to make that point.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, because I think I was talking earlier how people might say, no data centers, I just don't want it in my backyard. But you're just giving people some really intelligent questions to ask if they go to the town meeting or wherever, rather than just say, no, I don't want it, to ask. And maybe there is a solution to this, or maybe, So I appreciate it so much. Now, you're listening from South Carolina. Are you a Philadelphia Eagles fan? Or not? Like, I really need to know.
Oh, gosh. Well, I was born in Denver.
It sounds like a no, Justin.
Well, I was born in Denver, so I was a Broncos fan for many years. I didn't really watch a lot of NFL the last 10 or so years, but no, I grew up a Denver Broncos fan, so I'm sorry.
All right. Well, we'll still welcome any listener, but maybe you'll learn to be a part of the Bird Gang, because there really is nothing like the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, I married into a big flock of them, so.
Oh, perfect.
Maybe I should.
Okay. All right. Well, David, thank you so much for calling in, and have a very happy New Year.
You too. Thank you.
Well, Justin, that was an interesting call.
Yeah, no.
And it wasn't my brother.
David, I always see him in the YouTube chats, and I know he likes to call into stations. I think he did a hosting spot for a local South Carolina station not too long ago.
Well, please be careful with the screening, because my mother thinks that I should let my brother on. She says, "Well, give him a chance. Here's his opportunity." Like as if he's going to come on the radio. And I don't know what he thinks, if he's just going to hold the music up to his phone, and then I don't know how he even thinks he's going to get these
listened to too much Mike Opelka and his AI music.
Yeah, but Mike's AI stuff is kind of funny. My brother, he like writes these lyrics. Like, to me, it sounds like, I don't know, like really bad music. But
what genre of music are we talking here?
He writes, well, he was writing some Christmas songs, and he was writing some country songs, and he writes the lyrics, and then I guess the AI does the music, and then he just makes us listen to it. And of course, my mom says, "Oh, he's so talented," because you know how moms and sons are. Like, "Oh, well, why is someone not giving him a huge recording contract?" So that's why I was a little bit nervous. So I'm hoping that you have like really good call screening skills over there. I think my brother also teaches baseball, and I think that's where he is right now. So I don't think he'll be calling in. I was kind of panicked for nothing. But this AI stuff, it's all around. You see it everywhere.
I think they're planning to build a data center, not like about 30 minutes away from where I live in. Like on the border of Millville and Vineland, and a lot of people are pushing back against it.
Yeah, I think when any change happens, people get concerned, people get upset. How is it going to affect us? But I think the more information you have, then you can make better decisions. And like Dave from South Carolina, he just gave us a really good question to ask if you do go to the meetings. And then our earlier caller, Gabriella, she also talked a lot about AI centers, and how that there is a huge permitting process, and how they do have to go through studies and so forth. So I think as long as you ask the right questions and demand that of the people who are setting up these centers, you might be able to keep it a little bit safer. But I understand why people would be upset.
I think the issue with our R1 in Millville Island, they're not doing any safety surveys about it, and they're giving them like a 10-year tax break that gets pushed onto the citizens. So they're just trying to like sweep this under the rug and be like, hey, here's a AI data center. Yeah, they don't have to pay taxes, but you do.
Yeah, that's scary. And I hope the citizens do push back, and I hope that they are calling their legislators or whoever is in charge of doing that. Is that like a state thing or a county thing?
It's more of a local county thing than a state thing. There's been some like talk of trying to take it up to Trenton and try and do something about it. And you'd think a Democrat ran state legislature would be all for like trying to force them to do a ecological survey, safety survey about everything. But as of right now, I know there's another town meeting about it, I think next week or next 2 weeks.
Well, you heard Gabriella say they can also, it doesn't have to be a really large one too. Like if it's not a really large one, then it's not going to impact the area as much, but we're going to need them.
I would, we were actually talking about this earlier. What I do hope is, and I think I was talking, it's going to be a long ways away because I know how long it takes to build nuclear power plants.
Right.
But I hope this kind of like this need for power pushes more people to kind of get rid of the stigma that they have against nuclear energy, because I am a massive proponent for nuclear power. So what I'm hoping is like while I don't agree, and I think these big AI data centers aren't necessary, and who knows if they're going to be useful when the AI bubble eventually pops, like the .com bubble popped.
Right.
So one of the things that I hope good comes out of this is that people lose their fear around nuclear power, from like 3 Mile Island and all of like the concerns about it being not clean, even though it's one of the cleanest forms of energy that you can have. Like, it shifts us more towards being a nuclear energy state.
Right, because that our need for energy is not going away. But I do get very upset when government has a heavy hand in it, when government's subsidizing it, when government's saying, put these windmills up or put up these solar panels. Because if government has to subsidize it, maybe we're not quite ready for it. That's why I was really upset about the Biden administration really just pushing all these electric cars on us. And if the market is not ready for it, then they're not going to succeed. And I think we saw that. I mean, obviously Tesla's around, that's going to be around. They're the innovators. But just pushing all of these manufacturers they have to make so many electric cars, or all their cars have to be electric. The government has no place in that. I really think. And we love our gas guzzling cars. And for me, who drives a stick shift and insists on driving a stick shift, I don't think they make that in electric. So that's another reason why they can't just force all those gas cars on us. So this is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT, and we will be right back after these messages.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us, and we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-352-9239. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-352-9239. 800-352-9239 or biglou.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
And welcome back to 1210 WPHT. This is Linda Kerns. You can find me at Linda Kerns Law on Twitter, X. You can find 1210 WPHT on your radio or on the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio, YouTube. There's just plenty of ways to listen to us. And Justin, please be careful with that screening because I just got a text that my brother is listening. So I wouldn't be surprised if he picked up the phone because he's thinking, hey, here's my big debut. So now you're pre-warned. So there you go. So as sometimes I talk about my law practice, I'm a lawyer and I practice different sorts of law. Many people know that I do election law. I have election cases all year. I actually just filed one. I filed it on Friday afternoon, and so I'll be publicizing that one pretty soon. And I have another one that we're waiting to hear if the Supreme Court's going to accept it. So I do a lot of election law, voter roll cases. I also have a practice where I do family law, a lot of divorce work. And I was really sad to see the other day in Delaware County, I think this happened either on Christmas or the day after, during a custody exchange, this couple was either separated or divorced, and they got into some type of an argument when they were exchanging their children, very young children, 1, 4, and 6. And the dad, for whatever reason, got very upset and shot and killed the mom and then committed suicide. And this was all in front of the children. And that is so sad for me to hear. These custody cases, especially, they get absolutely so emotional. And I think that is just true of anything when it's involving a relationship, whether it's over your whether you're arguing over your children or you're getting a divorce, and there's just all sorts of feelings and emotions involved. And that part of my practice, the divorce, the family law, custody, child support, all that, it can be very, very difficult because you're often dealing with people at really their worst times. And most people don't want to go through a separation and a divorce. So you have to really kind of get them, set them on a path where they can accept what's happening and then really make really good choices. And I think that's why I was so interested when I got my copy of the National Review magazine, which I get, and they have an article in this week's issue, or I think this comes once a month, on, and I think my mom's listening, so she better hide her ears or cover her ears. They have a whole article, Justin, on polyamory and why it's really not a good idea. And I'd have to say, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. And what that basically means is you're in a relationship, but it's not just one man and one woman. It's multiple people in a relationship.
God, that's so disgusting.
I mean, if 2 people can't get along, imagine if 3 or 4 people can't get along. I just can't imagine the chaos. And our laws are designed, our relationship laws, like the reason that we have marriage is really to protect children. That's where the tradition of marriage comes from, because if a married couple has a child, then they're committed to each other and they're supposed to be faithful to each other. And theoretically, that if you're supposed to be faithful, that would prevent the man from going out and having, children with other women. And then this child can always depend on having parents. And this concept of polyamory, it's getting more play. It in Canada, it sounds like it's really clogging up the courts. And then these multiple people in these relationships, then they either one of them will have a child or they'll adopt a child, and then this child has more than two parents. And I can't imagine that's good for the child. What do you
I'm
think?
not surprised that it's very popular in Canada.
Oh, are you anti-Canadian?
I'm not anti-Canadian per se. It just seems like a lot of things fly there that don't get the same kind of play down here. They're more open-minded in a way, not in a good way, I should say. But the whole concept of polyamory is just disgusts me on a visceral level.
Well, I was reading an article, and I can't remember where I saw this article. It might have been the New York Times, or it was the Wall Street Journal. Anyway, they have a section on, both of those newspapers have a section on real estate, and sometimes they interview people who are buying a home or redecorating a home. And I should have printed it out and brought it. Maybe I'll bring it tomorrow night. But they actually interviewed these 3 men who were living together in a polyamorous relationship and then discussed how difficult it was for them to get on the same page to design a house. And I'm looking at this article like I cannot even believe the editor thought that this was okay, or that the general public really is that interested in how 3 people who are living together in some type of committed relationship, have this problem of decorating. And the weird thing was, Justin, in the article, they showed a picture of the bedroom, and these people get a bed specially made that's big enough for 3 people.
See, but even the concept of like one person is going to feel left out, and then what? In that case, you add a 4th person. Do we just keep? Where is the limit? Where do we stop? Where is the logical conclusion to this?
You're right. I mean, that goes back to kindergarten when you pal around and sometimes you have 3 people. You're always mad at the third person. Look at you, Zioli, and DeSantis. You and Zioli are all buddy bullying DeSantis.
And then, like in this triangle, you and DeSantis are buddy, and I'm the one that's left out in the cold. See, that just it does not play. That dog just doesn't hunt.
Right, and it's hard enough. I mean, any relationship is very hard to navigate, and marriage can be tough, and you have to make all sorts of decisions and sacrifices. I'm going to work, you're going to stay home, or vice versa, or we're going to move for your job, or we're going to stay here for your job. Once you start introducing more people into that, what do you do? Have a meeting and vote on all these decisions?
Better yet, let's just hypothetically say polyamorous marriage is cool and it's legal and it's just for the sake of this hypothetical, because it just shows how stupid the argument for this is. One person, we got a classic triangle here.
Right.
One person hates another person and they want to get divorced from the polycule, which is the term for it. Because being Gen Z, you get exposed to a lot of different weird terminology that you wish you didn't see, but you see it anyway.
So wait, it's called a polycube or
a polycule? Polyclue.
All right.
Polycule.
Okay.
And so what happens to the third person A wants to get divorced to person B, but person C, they're all married together. But person A doesn't hate person C. In the divorce proceedings, does person C have to give up assets in the divorce to person A, despite person A not having an issue with it? But because normally how divorce proceedings go, assets are divided equally. So again, this dog just doesn't hunt. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, in that case, it's more work for lawyers, so...
Yeah, you profit off of that.
I don't know. I would not want to be involved in something that... There was a TV show on about this. It was called Big Love, but that was polygamy. That was one man and multiple wives, which is a little different than polyamory, because polygamy came from where one man wants to have a lot of children, so he has lots of wives. So that never involved more than one man in the relationship. These polyamory relationships, that's multiple people, and to me, I just don't get it. So, Mom, I hope you hid your ears because that was kind of X-rated if you were listening. So this is Linda Kerns and Justin Otero on 1210 WPHT, and we will be right back.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT will ring in 2026 with the legendary Bob Pantano. Be here starting at 7 p.m. for the New Year's Eve dance party, live from the Adelphia Ballroom. It's how New Year's Eve is meant to be celebrated. Great music, friends, and fun. The Bob Pantano New Year's Eve dance party. Starting at 7 p.m. live on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and at Bob Pantano Dance Party Radio on the Odyssey app.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra on the story of Philly sports put to music at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey, February 21st.
First of all, I loved it.
I couldn't imagine how good it would be with the orchestra.
All his voices are fabulous, and the fact that he sings.
That band.
You laugh, you teared up.
Just great stuff.
I've never laughed so much my cheeks hurt. I'm like, yeah.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 21st. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
joeconklin.com!
Oh.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
The second helicopter pilot involved in Sunday's mid-air collision in Atlantic County, New Jersey, has died. Preparations for Philadelphia's first outdoor New Year's Eve concert are underway out on the Parkway. President Trump issues new warnings to Iran to hold off on rebuilding its nuclear program.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hola, amigos! It's a big noise. Brad Evans from BetMGM tonight. Listen Monday through Friday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports as we cover the biggest sports stories from coast to coast. Get insights on the NFL playoffs, college basketball conference races, and more. Download the Odyssey app now and listen from anywhere. BetMGM tonight, live and interactive, presented by BetMGM. Tune in, Team Huevos.
Debt. We can all get in a bit too deep. Members of the NFCC, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, can help you put debt in its place.
Credit cards took charge of my financial life. An NFCC credit counselor helped me get back in control. I took charge of my debt.
Student loan debt followed me wherever I went. My NFCC financial advocate taught me all I needed to know. I mastered my student loan debt.
We wanted to buy our first home, but weren't sure if we were mortgage ready. Our NFCC housing counselor helped us make a plan. We're on a path to our first home.
NFCC member agencies serve all 50 states and Puerto Rico. Convenient, helpful, knowledgeable, nonprofit. Financial advocates there for you.
We put debt in its place.
Be one of 5 million people to beat debt by 2020. Connect with an NFCC certified credit counselor at your local member agency today. Go to nfcc.org/stopdebt or call 877-410-6322.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life. Somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
You can now tune in to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
And we are back. And if you hear Elvis, especially these really good Elvis songs, it means that we have Linda Kerns here guest hosting. And I am in for Jimmy Fallon on 1210 WPHT. You can find us on the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio, YouTube, or just on your regular radio at 1210 WPHT. And I am really thrilled to welcome my next guest, who I haven't actually spoken to in a long time. So we're going to have our little reunion here on the radio. Colby Cohen, are you there?
I am here, and I can say that when I saw your name come across my cell phone yesterday, I had a big old smile light up across my face. So it's good to hear your voice. It has been too long, my friend.
Well, Colby, I think what made me call you is I saw that you're playing in some hockey game, and I didn't get what the hockey game was. It's for the Jewish, something for the Jewish league or something?
It's so, I really, as you know, my history, Linda, is rooted in the sport of hockey, and I don't play anymore. I really don't skate anymore, although my daughter I started taking my daughter on the ice not long ago, so I have made my way back to the ice a little bit as of late. But there's a league in Israel, and they have an Israeli national team in the sport of hockey. Now, they're not Division I. They play in like the second and third division in the World Championships and, the World Junior Championships, which is like the under 20 kids and stuff like that. So they do have a functioning hockey federation over in Israel. And every year, well, I shouldn't say every year. Last year was the first year they did it. They're doing this USA Challenge Tour where they're bringing two of the professional teams, one from Jerusalem and one from Tel Aviv, and they're bringing them here, and they're playing like 3 or 4 games in the States. And the big game that they play is a game at UBS Arena, which is where the Islanders play. They did it last year. I believe they sold out UBS Arena last year. And, they invite some, guest players to play in this game. I guess maybe people that maybe have marquee careers or names that are Jewish, and there's not a lot of us in the sport of hockey. And so they asked me to come and play in the game, and it's in February. And honestly, the biggest draw for me is getting to play in front of my kids. My kids, unfortunately, came after my hockey career was over. And so I jumped at the opportunity. I think it's incredible that they invited me. I'm really, really honored, honestly. If they didn't invite me to play, Linda, I was going to reach out to them to ask if I could play. So it worked out really well. So I'm really excited for it. It's February 22nd at UBS Arena out in Belmont, New York on Long Island.
Well, you are in the Philadelphia Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, and I know that because I was at the ceremony when they inducted you in that. So you're the real deal.
You were in a very small group that I invited to come to that, and that was a cool moment, and I'm glad you were there to share it with me, and I believe my mom was there as well, and so that was a fun moment.
Yeah, and I like anything that brings positive attention to Israel. I saw at the top of your Twitter, your X, you have these words which I'm sure I can't pronounce, but I want you to tell me what they mean. Am Yisrael Chi, C-H-I?
It's just it's a belief in Israel, and it's a positivity, and I change it around from time to time. It's a Hebrew meaning for like Jewish life, and it's funny, like I've always, both my parents are Jewish, Linda, and I grew up out in the Radnor area, and my mom is from the Lower Merion area, and we've gone through the whole, it's funny, my brothers all had their bar mitzvahs. I did not because of hockey. I skipped out on that whole part of life. But, I've always been proud to have the last name Cohen, and I've always been proud to be one of the very, very few Jews that have, played hockey, played in the National Hockey League. And I'll tell you, like, after October 7th, it was just really eye-opening to me, basically, a lot of the ways that the world viewed Jews. And I really didn't know. I don't know if I grew up naive. I don't know if it was hidden away, because I never experienced any hatred my whole life, honestly, until October 7th. I really never did, and realized it. And then when I started to see it, and I felt like, well, I have a platform, and I feel like a lot of young hockey players look up to me, and especially in this area. And so I've used my voice, and I felt like I need to say what's on my mind. And, I've been, I'm not working for any NHL team in particular anymore. So that gives me the opportunity to really voice my own opinion and say what I want. And so I've been a big proponent of it, and I've been a big supporter of it. I think I've learned a lot, and I've done a lot more I've just like dug in a little bit to make sure that I fully understand some of these different conflicts and the different geopolitical factors happening around the world, and all the forces at work. And I, the more that I learn, the more stubborn I've gotten in my opinions, and honestly, it's made me feel a lot closer to being Jewish, like,
Right.
and what that means. So.
Well, you have a podcast now. My producer here, Justin, he's sitting here in his Flyers cap, which I was a little shocked at that he's not wearing his Eagles cap today. He was so excited to have you on. Justin, do you have any questions for Colby? Because Justin's a huge hockey fan.
Yeah, Colby, I've been a big hockey fan all my life, and all I've done is play in a couple beer leagues here and there, but I was
nothing
curious.
wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it, but it's not like I want to know. What's the feeling like? Because you were part of that Boston team, University of Boston team that won the NCAA tournament back in 2009, correct?
Yep. 2009 national championship team, 2011 Stanley Cup team, which we ran through your Philadelphia Flyers in 4 games that year in the second round to on our way to the Stanley Cup, but just take a little bit of a jab at you. But I do hope that listen, all the people that run the Flyers now are guys that I've crossed paths with, friends of mine, people that have been really, really good to me, and people Jonesy, I crossed paths and worked with him in TV a little bit. Danny Briere, I mean, I've been to his youngest kids' birthday parties, and our wives are friends. So, like, I really would love to see the Flyers be good, and they have been good this year. Like, I'm really happy where they're at right now, not to cut you off, but...
Yeah, no, after what seems to have been like a decade in the doldrums. But what I really wanted to know is, you scored the game-winning goal in the national championship game in overtime. What does that feel like? Do you remember how you felt in that moment?
No, I don't. The feeling is Linda knows me, and she knows that I can talk, and I can talk, and I can talk some more. But, it was probably one of the only times in my life where ESPN stuck a microphone in front of my face, and I could barely get words out of my mouth. I mean, it was such a special feeling, and the way that the team came back, and honestly, like, I can put myself in my shoes walking out onto the ice for my first ever NHL game. Like, I can visualize it, and I can go back to that moment in my head. I can't do that for the championship moment. It was so surreal, and the chemical response in my body and my brain must have been so severe that, like, I can't go back there. I can't. I mean, even when I watch it on video and I smile and I get the chills, I still can't remember just the feeling. The first thing that I truly, truly remember, and, I have like little blurry moments of what happened after the game, but not really. It was about an hour after the game, and I had already gotten out of the locker room, and I went up to the concourse, as we all did after doing all the media commitments and all that, to see my parents. And I can remember seeing my mom and my dad, and the moment that, like, I was able to, like, hug both my parents. And, I think I remember saying, like, we did it, because it was definitely a we moment. You don't get there without your parents. And I that was really the first true memory that I have of what happened after that puck went in the net. And maybe it'll all come back to me one day, but I don't think it will. It was just too surreal.
Yeah, and that's such a sweet answer, but it's like, you remember growing up, everybody plays on the pond, and they always think of being in that moment, just shooting on an empty net. It's game 7 of a championship final, and you're the one to score the game-winning goal for your team, but you actually did that, and that's so great.
Listen, I remember those moments as a kid in my basement, being Joe Sakic for Game 7, or Eric Lindros or John LeClair. I mean, Eric Lindros and John LeClair were my 2 favorite Flyers growing up, and John LeClair is still like one of the very few people that I whenever I see John, and I ran into him not long ago at a BU game, actually, because he was there watching some of the Flyers prospects play. And, it's still surreal to me when John LeClaire says, "Hey, Colby." That's still, like, the little kid in me is like, wow, when I have that moment, even now as a 37-year-old with John LeClaire. And there's not many guys like that. I was fortunate to play with Joe Sakic in Colorado, which, again, like, I had a poster of him my whole life in my bedroom. And so, those are cool moments that the older I get and as I'm like now watching my kids grow up and I'm realizing what like life, for me at least, the most important thing is my children and making sure that I do a good job raising my kids to be, the right way so they don't end up like some of these other jerk kids that you see doing stupid things on college campuses. But I still cherish all those moments, man. The game of hockey it's been everything to me. It's led me to everything that I have in life. It all points back to the game of hockey, and I'm very, very appreciative of it. I really am. I've gotten a lot of perspective on that.
Colbs, can you tell us where to find your podcast, Morning Cup of Hockey?
Yeah, so I do it for the Daily Face-Off, which is like this big digital network for hockey, and we're live every morning on YouTube, 9 to 10 on the Daily Face-Off YouTube, or you can find it on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, basically all the podcast platforms. But we do the show live every morning. We have a live chat. Our listeners love to get in the chat. They love to be heard. We interact with our listeners all the time. We argue with them. They argue back with us. It's a really interactive show, and I really love doing it, Linda. Like I'll tell you, like I've done a lot of traditional TV in my life, and I've worked for the Flyers doing their broadcasts. I worked for the Blackhawks doing their broadcasts, and I still work for ESPN. But there's no more fun than having like a free forum opportunity where nobody is telling me what I can and can't say. We get to produce our own show. We have a producer we work great with. We can say whatever we want. If we want to dive into, like, if there's something that intertwines politics and hockey, we can talk about it. Like, and honestly, I don't care. Like, I tell people all the time, you don't have to agree with me. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel, and I don't really care if you like it or not. Like, I respect your opinion, and you can respect mine, even if they're different, and I have no problem with that. And I love doing it, Linda. It's so much fun.
Well, Colby Cohen, where can our listeners find you? Tell us what your Twitter handle is.
My Twitter handle is Colby Cohen 36, and it's mostly hockey with politics sprinkled in. And it's really funny, Linda, because like when we met, I was probably in my, mid-20s when we met, I would say, like somewhere around 25 years old, maybe 26 years old. And I didn't know the difference between a Democrat and a Republican barely at that point when it comes to politics. And like, you'd be proud. Like, I feel like between you and our other old friend, like, I am just like, I love politics now. I really do. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard thing to love, but I find myself spending a lot of time learning about politics.
Good. And I am proud of you. And it sounds like you're an awesome ambassador for Israel. Well, I'm going to let you go now. I think you have a new listener in my producer, Justin. I think he's going to be subscribing to your podcast.
Love it.
And I guest host every so often, and I am definitely going to have you back on because I'm going to want to hear about that game. Thank you, Colby.
Just like I told you last night, Linda, you ask for something and I'll be there.
Thank you, Colby. Happy New Year.
All right, you too. See you guys.
And this is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT, and we will be right back after these messages.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Imagine actually feeling merry, bright, and genuinely healthy this holiday season. With Rescue, that feeling starts now. Going on today, the Deck the Hall sale lets you save up to 78% off on high-quality, research-backed natural supplements so you can feel your best. Enjoy every festive moment. Formulas are crafted with purity, potency, and real science behind every capsule. That's why customers rely on Rescue for their essentials. Powerful omega-3s, doctor-recommended cholesterol support, gentle but effective pain relief, advanced probiotic blends, and natural age-defying formulas that help you stay vibrant from the inside out. This season, give yourself the gift of feeling good. Stock up, save big, and step into the holidays with the confidence that comes from supplements made with integrity and backed by decades of results. Ordering is easy. Just go to res-q.com or call a Rescue product consultant 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483, online at res-q.com for up to 78% off this holiday season.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto-pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
And we are back. This is Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy Fallon here on the best radio station in the world, 1210 WPHT. You can get us on the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio, on regular radio. If you'd like to call in, our number is 855-839-1210, and that number is for everyone except my brother, who has been texting me threatening that he's going to call in. So anyone but my brother can call in.
I have not seen anything yet.
855-839-1210. Well, I did tell him that we have guests until 9:30, so maybe that's when you should kind of, put the antenna up and just be really careful. So Justin, there's a jar here on the studio desk, and I've seen it before, but someone must have turned it, and because I never really read what's on it. It says 1210 WPHT grammar jar, and then there's all these dollars in there. Do you know what that's for?
I have no idea. I will keep it. I remember it used to be a swear jar. I don't know when it got switched over to grammar jar.
Well, we have to find the moron that switched it to grammar jar because they spelled the word grammar wrong. It's spelled on the jar Grammer, and grammar spelled Grammar.
Smells like a Greg Stocker or Nick Cale thing.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Greg Stocker's the one that gives me these shifts. I can't.
We'll think about it. Let's do process of elimination here. It's not Rich because Rich is never here. It's not Dom because Dom. I don't think Dom would do that kind of thing. It's not Dawn because Dawn's a professional. Right. So that leaves who's here every day, 5 days a week that we've mentioned that sits in that studio or goes in that studio.
I think it's Stocker, and he actually wrote on the jar grammar, Grammer. So what kind of an idiot is asking people to put money in the grammar jar but can't even spell grammar?
It would seem it's Greg Stocker.
It's kind of like we were talking earlier on the Opelka show about that awesome YouTuber that was going around to the daycare centers, and was that in Minnesota? He did that.
Yeah,
and then they had the word learning spelled wrong.
Leering Center.
Yeah. Well, the same person who did that sign probably did this little jar here at 1210 WPHT.
Oh, people in the YouTube chat seem to Mangle-Mush and Dave say, they're openly throwing the blame at Nick Cale.
All right. Well, maybe I'll leave a note on it, so that, and then when he comes back, I'm just gonna write who is the moron who spelled grammar wrong? Signed, Linda Kerns. And then they'll probably talk about me on the air.
Of course.
And they'll probably say bad things about Elvis. And
Of
then
course.
Soccer will mention how Elvis died in the bathroom. So, maybe I shouldn't leave a note. Maybe I should just kind of let sleeping dogs lie.
We'll keep this between us and the people in the YouTube chat and the people listening on terrestrial. There's a lot of people we're leaving this with, but I think we'll be fine.
So you really enjoyed that last interviewing Colby, right?
I did.
Yeah.
You know, growing up playing hockey a lot. When I first started in radio, which was like 7 or 8 years ago, I was originally a sports play-by-play guy. So all of my stuff is like sports related. I've played hockey most of my life. Been around sports. And, you know, being at a political station, you don't really get, like, don't get me wrong, I do love politics. And I wouldn't work here otherwise, but sports will always be my first love. And being able to actually talk to somebody, you know, like Colby, who's got politics, but he's also won a Stanley Cup and scored the game-winning goal to win the NCAA national title game. That's something that doesn't really happen a lot.
Yeah, that hockey game he was talking about, that sounds really interesting. So I'm sure I'll be guest hosting again, and maybe we can have him on after he does it to hear about it. Because, I mean, you heard him too. He is getting a little bit older, and he hasn't been on the ice in a while. And hockey doesn't seem like a game you can kind of just get out of and then just pick right back up.
I mean, Zdeno Chara played till he was in his mid-40s. And, you know, Colby played with him. Colby played with Zdeno Chara in Boston.
So can you skate?
I haven't skated in like 2 years, but it'd probably take me like 1 or 2 goes to get back into the swing of things. But at my peak, before the pandemic, oh yeah, I could skate.
Huh, wow. I've never really been too into hockey. I was kind of raised on baseball, like watching baseball and football. So I like those two. I'm not really too into watching hockey. I do like to watch basketball. I'm getting excited for the the March Madness tournament.
Oh, everybody loves March Madness.
Yeah, we do this in my family. We do like our own little pool, and when my dad was alive, he did it really old school, and we had to actually fill out a pool like on paper and mail it to him, and it had to be postmarked before the first game. And he would like put all the pools out on the dining room table, and then every couple of days he would announce who was in the lead. And he always put up, we didn't have to pay to be in the pool. He would put up the prize. I forget what the prize was, maybe $50 for the top one, $25 for the second. And then of course, because he had granddaughters, he would always give a prize for like the best handwriting, or, you know, just things to make sure that the granddaughters won. But so, and I never won the best handwriting. I think he kind of favored the granddaughters over his actual daughter. So, I don't know how fair that was, but we'll be doing that again, but now we do it online. So, all right, well, we're going to take a break here at 1210 WPHT, live and local, and we will be right back with our next guest.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Chris, good morning. How are you?
You guys are going to hate this one. Fruity Pebbles.
I knew it! I knew it was Fruity Pebbles.
I had you picked for an Apple Jacks guy myself.
I knew it. Fruity Pebbles is so bad for you. Stop right now.
Mama Dawn is going to lecture you, Chris.
I now know that I will outlive one person in this audience. I will outlive Chris.
Not Fruity Pebbles.
Because Chris is eating Fruity Pebbles at 34 for dinner.
And Larry buys this stuff, and then I throw it away. It's the battle in my house.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? Riverwinds Restaurant in West Deptford has you covered. From weddings and anniversaries to corporate banquets and holiday parties, their stunning riverfront views, elegant event rooms, and award-winning cuisine make every occasion unforgettable. And the team at Riverwinds takes care of every detail so you can relax and celebrate. Large or small, formal or casual, there's no better backdrop than Riverwinds. Book your banquet today at 856-579-7900.
Julia owed the IRS thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear.
Then,
I heard a commercial for Optima Tax Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative.
Optima Tax Relief settled my IRS tax bill.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
It was amazing.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-939-1441. That's 800-939-1441.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money.
Albert can get me up to $1,000?
Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000. Use code SAVE to get up to $1,000.
For example, child exploitation and, yes, fraud.
A father and son accused of a mass shooting at Australia's Bondi Beach were not part of a broader terrorist cell. Australia's federal police commissioner says the two acted alone. 15 people died and 41 were injured during a Hanukkah festival. In an exclusive interview, CBS's Anna Corin has spoken with Ahmed El Ahmed, the man who risked his life to save others by wresting a rifle from one of the shooters.
Were you worried about the second gunman on the footbridge?
No, I didn't worry about anything. My target was just to take the gun from him and to stop him from killing a human being life.
Do you realize that from your actions you saved countless lives that day?
I know I saved lots of people's life, but I feel sorry still for the lost.
Indiana is one of the first states to implement a law banning the use of SNAP benefits to buy junk food. WSBT TV's Francesca Onofrio.
Any place in Indiana that accepts SNAP benefits must abide by this new change in policy. Grocers, retailers, gas stations, convenience stores changing their databases to no longer accept SNAP funds for the purchase of candy or sugary drinks.
Confetti was flying in New York City's Times Square today, just days ahead of the big ball drop. CBS News New York's Alan Devlin was there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
The organizers of the New Year's Eve celebration and Planet Fitness joined up to test drop confetti here in Times Square ahead of what will be 3,000 pounds of confetti dropped at 12 a.m. January 1st. And it's going to include thousands of wishes from people who have submitted them on the wishing wall here in Times Square or on the virtual wishing wall online.
This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The new year is almost here, and that means copyrights will expire.
Public domain means anyone can do anything with any of these works without copyright restrictions. Duke University researchers say they include cartoons like this one.
Baby, or ain't you? Boop, boop, be-doo.
With Betty Boop. They're classic movies.
Hello? I must be going.
Like the Marx Brothers' Animal Crackers. And thousands of classic songs. Like George and Ira Gershwin's I've Got Rhythm. George is heard playing it right here. Books that go into public domain include the children's classic The Little Engine That Could and the first 4 Nancy Drew mysteries. Peter King, CBS News.
Tributes are pouring in from around the world after French film icon Brigitte Bardot died over the weekend at 91. PETA calls her an angel for animals. French officials describe her as wildly free and unapologetically herself, while others note how she reshaped global ideas of beauty, fame, and activism. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Every year, millions of Americans use opioids to manage pain. Pain can be unrelenting, overwhelming, and all-consuming. So why do so many of us try to manage pain only from the palm of our hands? Doctor-prescribed opioids are appropriate in some cases, but they just mask the pain. And reliance on opioids has led to the worst drug crisis in American history. That's why the CDC recommends safer alternatives, like physical therapy, to manage pain. Physical therapists treat pain through movement, hands-on care, and patient education. No warning labels required. And by increasing physical activity, you can also reduce your risk of other chronic diseases. Pain is personal, but treating pain takes teamwork. When it comes to your health, you have a choice. Choose more movement and better health. Choose physical therapy. Visit moveforwardpt.com to find a physical therapist in your area. This message is brought to you by the American Physical Therapy Association.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Linda Kerns. On Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
And we are back. If you're hearing the king of rock and roll, you know it's Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy Fallon. Here we are at our Philadelphia studios, the birthplace of independence. And I am really happy to introduce our next guest, someone who I've known for a long time and someone who I like to think of as a really local, a celebrity. So he's a celebrity, but he's a special Philadelphia celebrity. So I call him a celebrity. The amazing photographer, Dominic Episcopo. Dominic, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi, how you doing, Linda?
Hi, Dominic. You know, we haven't talked in a while. We should probably have had our reunion not live on air, but actually on the telephone. But this one works, right?
Sure.
So I am your lawyer, but you don't need a lawyer that often. And we've known each other for a really long time. And you have a really awesome photography business here in Philadelphia. What are you working on now?
Well, what we typically do is lifestyle and food photography and video for a lot of national brands and local brands. And recently we just finished, and actually we're going to shoot another day of, I think, for the Philadelphia Archdiocese. We shot the I'm Catholic Every Day commercials and print campaigns that are running right now on billboards.
So can you see those commercials on TV or on social media?
I believe both. They should be on social media, and I believe they're running on television as well. I think it's the first time the Archdiocese ever ran a TV spot.
Well, I'm a product of the Philadelphia Archdiocese, the Catholic schools, and I know you're also Catholic. Can I tell the story of how I kind of described your family when I met them at your mom's funeral?
Oh my gosh, of course.
So
It's funny. It's very funny.
So, as you can imagine, with somebody like with a name like Dominic Episcopo, he is of Italian descent, and when you meet an Italian family, it can be a little bit different than other families. And years ago, when his mom died, it was obviously a very sad time, but the Italians really have these huge funerals. You go to the funeral home, there's a mass, they call it the repast when you eat. But I was so overwhelmed when I went there, Dominic, because I felt like I was at a casting call for the Sopranos TV show.
I get how it looked like that.
And I think you said that to your dad, and even as your dad was really sad, I think it did make him laugh, but it did, and I grew up kind of, I watched The Sopranos, and being here local, you know that those people like that really exist. I'm not saying your family was in the mob, because they're certainly not, but just the stereotypical Italians, you guys really fit the bill.
Well, we're also from North Jersey, and I grew up in Verona, which is the town that they use for Tony Soprano to live in. And the house they use is in the neighborhood I grew up in. The high school they use for the kids on the show is the high school I went to. So it really, I grew up right in the middle of that world.
Yeah,
not in the mob, but just in that North Jersey Italian, exactly ground zero for The Sopranos.
Yeah, they really made that authentic. So, in addition to what you're doing now with I'm Catholic Every Day, you had a series that was called Meet America. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that was a series. It's actually almost 15 years old now, and it was the story of the American spirit as told through Meet. And it was Meet America, but Meet MEAT America. And it was sculptures of everything from presidents and American icons to states and stuff like that.
Well, I have one of those Meet America pictures in my office. I'm sure the audience can probably guess that it was Elvis Presley. You did a steak in the shape of Elvis Presley, and you took a picture. And of course, I have that in my office.
Yeah, that was a filet mignon that we made
well,
Elvis into. And that one's called Love Me Tender.
Oh, yeah. You know what? You're right. Yeah, you're right. I forgot that it was called Love Me Tender. Yeah, see, that was so creative. You're selling your work now. Don't you have an Instagram page?
Yeah, called Tasty Prints, where you could buy the Meet America plus other images too of mine. It's mostly food. I shoot mostly food. There's some stuff from. I went and I studied photography in Italy in 2019. I went for a few weeks, and there's images from that trip on there as well. But it's really a cross-section of a lot of my work from the last 20 years.
And people can buy the images from the Instagram page?
Not from the Instagram page, but the Instagram page will take you to, it's a website. It's tastyprints.net. I should know this, but I don't. I'm pretty sure it's .net. And yeah, you could buy them from there. But the Instagram handle is Tasty Prints, and that'll take you right to the website.
It seems like AI is taking over like everything, and it seems like you look at a picture and you can't tell if it's AI or real. As a professional photographer, do you have any tips so that we can recognize when it's an AI photo and may not be real?
Well, it's right now the AI stuff is still has a look to it that it's pretty easy to distinguish when something's AI. There's something not real about it. And then there's still the obvious mistakes that AI makes when people get 6 fingers and stuff like that. But I think AI is still, their images are so polished and so perfect sometimes that it almost is the giveaway. There's something surreal about it. You're looking at a photograph of a world that you know really doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the only clue I have.
And you've taken a lot of headshots. I mean, you've taken my headshot, and I was always, every time you take it, I have to sit in the hair and makeup chair for a really long time. And now people seem to use AI for headshots, and I really feel like there's something just odd about them. It doesn't really capture the real person.
Yeah, but that is sort of, I mean, there's a bigger conversation about that's how the world is moving. And the younger generations, I feel like I have a 16-year-old and I see his friends and how they think about things, and authenticity, the way we would think about it, doesn't matter to them in the same way. Like when we were young, when we were in high school, a band could never do like an endorsement. You couldn't even have like a company endorse your tour. But now, you know, bands look for to endorse a product just to promote their album. And nobody's feathers are ruffled by that. And there's something about things just not being completely authentic the way I think older generations kind of respected and cared about. Younger generations don't.
Well,
so it makes it easy or okay to do a headshot in AI.
Well, speaking of bands and music, you've photographed some really interesting music people over the years. I know you've photographed my client, one of my other clients, G Love of G Love and Special Sauce, another Philly export. But can you tell us about some of the other really interesting music type people that you photographed?
Yeah, I've photographed everybody from the Beastie Boys to Sonic Youth to Bon Jovi to Elton John. I did a lot of that work really in the 90s and in the early 2000s. I was shooting quite a bit for magazines like Rolling Stone and Philly Rock Guide, and I would do record packages for like Interscope Records and stuff, Matador, stuff like that. It was really fun. Met a lot of bands. I was shooting a lot of indie bands. I shot bands like Pavement and Modest Mouse, Keen, Bright Eyes, stuff like a lot of those indie bands from that time period. It was awesome. Sonic Youth, I don't know if I mentioned them already or not. But yeah, it was really fun, really fun. Got to see a lot of bands at soundcheck or backstage, or they would come to the studio and hang out for the afternoon because they'd be playing the show in Philly that night. It was pretty cool.
What's the secret to kind of getting them comfortable so you can really, shoot that image that really projects their personality?
Well, bands are different because they're used to being photographed. I mean, everybody's at work. I mean, I'm at work and they're at work, and everyone kind of knows it. So bands are a little different as far as getting them comfortable. Sometimes it's about getting them comfortable to trust you, especially that, a lot of times I'm shooting them for a magazine and they're just passing through town and they're told that, at 5 o'clock, the photographer is going to come and you're going to have to sit down with him for a half hour or an hour and do photos. So we don't really have a rapport or know each other. And sometimes, like back then, I would have these crazy concepts that I would show up with all these props and stuff, sometimes like backstage. And a lot of times they'd be uncomfortable with it. I had photographed Les Claypool from Primus at the Electric Factory, like before his sound check. And I wanted to do a shot of him eating spaghetti, and I wanted him to have like the sauce all over his face, and I brought like the checkered tablecloth and a bowl, and I brought Tupperwares with sauce and meatballs and spaghetti. And we got there, and he was like, "No way!" He's like, "I am putting nothing in my mouth that I didn't like that you brought." And I'm like, I mean, I understand where he was coming from. Like, I just showed up and he's going to start eating what I'm putting in front of him. And he played along and we got a shot, but he wouldn't let me put like sauce all over his face and stuff, which is really the shot I wanted to get.
Well, when you take headshots for people, how do you make them feel comfortable? Because those people are not used to getting photographed and are very conscious about their image because they know that it's going to be on their website or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I just talk to them. I mean, I just talk to them like a real person, and and the shots, when I photograph somebody, I want them to be relaxed and casual. I'm not interested in somebody sitting up perfectly. So it's really just about creating an environment that's comfortable, that they don't feel self-conscious and they can relax. And often what we do is we shoot a couple rounds of photographs and then we look at them and we see what we like and what we don't like. And most people hone in on what they're seeing that they like. And then when we go back, we just work on that and you just kind of tighten it up to what's working for them.
Okay, and you've also done food shots of food at restaurants. How does that work? Like, do you show up and they have to make all the dishes for you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they fire out a ton of dishes to us all at once. Yeah, and you're often working with the chef in the restaurant and stuff. But yeah, when we get to the restaurant, we'll set up and then we have to time. And the chefs are really good at that, but at the same time, they're not used to working with a photo shoot. So there's little things where it's not always perfect. But yeah, I mean, the restaurant stuff is really fun. It's great to meet all the different chefs. There's so many great chefs in Philly and so many great restaurants right now. Philly's really having a moment in the restaurant world, in the food world.
Yeah, I know. I really appreciate that about Philly. When you are here in Philly, how is the photography scene different than in some of the bigger cities like New York or Chicago or even California?
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know the answer to that question, I don't think. I mean, as far as artwork, I mean, like the fine art world is sort of a national stage. I mean, of course, every market has a local, smaller market. And we have great institutions like Tilt and stuff, which is, it's an institution like for supporting the photographic image. But yeah, I don't know how Philadelphia is better. We do have a really strong community. I mean, we have a great community, both the commercial community, the fine art community, the educational community, all in photography. And it's really strong, and it's really, a lot of people just keeps growing. Philly just keeps growing up and getting bigger and better with so many things like that. I mean, 20 years ago, there was maybe one rental studio or one equipment rental house in all of Philly. And now there's dozens. It's just crazy how the city has just grown in those industries.
Do you have any kind of advice or tips for a young person who wants to get into this business? Because I feel like it's changed so much during your career, with the advent of the iPhone, and everyone thinks they're a photographer.
Yeah, there's so many things. The technology just keeps changing so rapidly. And now AI coming in is really changing how things are done. And it's not just AI, it's digital marketing. When we shot on film and things were printed in magazines, that magazine would sit on the dentist's coffee table for 5 years. So everything in that image had to be perfect because people just looked at it and went back and looked at it. But now images have an expiration date of 48 hours. I mean, the machine of social media and stuff just, the way they have to keep feeding it with content. So the way images are made and the way they're looked at and the way they're purchased, all that stuff is all changing within the industry. And then technology is making it easier to make an image that looks really professional and good. Both AI built into the cameras and into Photoshop and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just when you're taking the image, it's in the post work and stuff that really changes how things are done. So it's so in a state of change right now, the industry, that it's hard to see and say where it's going to land. but it is definitely going through an evolution.
And this campaign for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, is that to promote just Catholicism in general, or is it to promote the Philadelphia or the area Catholic schools?
I think it is to get people to come back to church. I think their message is just that simple in those commercials. It's just about getting people to come back to church.
So was that your vision? Like, did they come to you and say, we want people to come back to church, and you had to kind of storyboard it for them, or did they have a definite vision in mind?
No, I worked with a local agency called Agile Cat, and they're great people. I do a lot of work with them, and the Archdiocese is their client, and they would pitch the Archdiocese with ideas, and then they would come back to me with those ideas, and then I would work with them and talk about how we could do it. And I would also, they would bring me those ideas, and then I would talk about how it should look and what it, what the vision for this whole spot could be, and the whole campaign really, because we did both videos for TV commercials, but we also did a print campaign. So I worked with the art directors and the creative people at Agile, and we put it together. And then we worked with Center City Film and Video, which is another great company that's been around for many years in Philadelphia. It's a production company, and I do a lot of directing with them. So they were the production company that made all of it happen. So their producers and stuff make sure that all the locations and all the people and everything are where they're supposed to be at the right time, and and they do all the edit and the post work as well. It's quite a big production with a lot of people, and it looks really good in the end.
So you're not only the person taking the video, you're also kind of the director.
I am the director. I'm actually not the person taking the video.
Oh, okay.
I'm just the director of the video. We'll have a DP or a director of photography, and that person actually is the one holding the camera. And I usually have like a little monitor in my hand where I'll just keep talking I'll be standing right next to him and walking with him and literally directing him to say go up or down. And a lot of times I don't even have to do that because we've practiced this shot a couple times, right, and it's just a matter of them nailing it.
Well, I'm definitely going to look for those commercials. And I'm going to close with one last question, which is, do you have a favorite image from your own portfolio that we should look for?
I don't know.
Is it hard? Is it like picking a favorite kid? Okay.
Yeah, no, they're all like my kids. I don't know. I mean, there's some that I don't like, and then there's, sometimes the most popular images are not necessarily the ones I love. Sometimes, the ones that I really love are not the ones that sell the best or that most people gravitate towards. But I like them all. Well, I like them. I mean, they wouldn't have gotten to where they are, where I, not only made them, but then edited them where I'm still showing them and stuff if there wasn't something about it that didn't speak to me.
Well, Dominic Episcopo, I thought the answer was going to be that your favorite photos were the ones you've taken of me, but you missed the chance to say that. But if anyone wants to find Dominic, you can find him at episcopo.com and also at Tasty Prints on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, and have a very happy New Year. And I'm going to look for those I'm Catholic Everyday videos. Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you, Linda. Happy New Year.
And this is Linda Kerns filling in for Jimmy Fallon, and we will be right back after this break.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
Gold is now over $4,300 an ounce. Need cash to help pay holiday bills? Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Wednesday and get cash in your hands. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold is hot by going to the Estates Roadshow this Monday through Wednesday in Chestnut Hill at the Chestnut Hill Hotel or in Cherry Hill at TMT Cash for Gold. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com.
Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
The smartphone has made us stupid. We live in a society where you are just programmed now to have this thing in your hand. It's like an addiction. It's like smoking or drinking. You don't even know you're doing it. How many times are you in a setting where there's zero reason for you to have your phone in your hand? It's almost become a crutch in society to avoid social interactions with people.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli here with my friend Matt from Emmons Roofing and Siding. If you're like me, your house took a real beating this winter from all the snow, ice, and storms.
At Emmons Roofing and Siding, we're here to put it back together. We specialize in storm-resistant roofing and siding systems designed to last no matter what Mother Nature throws at it.
Well, Emmons is who I use and recommend, so call Emmons today at 856-556-3229 for a free roof inspection.
Or visit us at callemmons.com.
Callemmons.com. Emmons, protecting homes, one roof at a time.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT will ring in 2026 with the legendary Bob Pantano. Be here starting at 7 p.m. for the New Year's Eve dance party, live from the Adelphia Ballroom. It's how New Year's Eve is meant to be celebrated. Great music, friends, and fun. The Bob Pantano New Year's Eve dance party. Starting at 7 p.m. live on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and at Bob Pantano Dance Party Radio on the Odyssey app.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
The second helicopter pilot involved in Sunday's mid-air collision in Atlantic County, New Jersey, has died. Preparations for Philadelphia's first outdoor New Year's Eve concert are underway out on the Parkway. President Trump issues new warnings to Iran to hold off on rebuilding its nuclear program.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
Well, here we are again, and this is looking like a pretty lopsided matchup, Jim.
That's right, Ron. I mean, in one corner, we've got a 175-pound guy, and in the other, a 6,000-ton heavyweight train.
Jim, this guy has no idea what he's getting himself into.
Ron, the size difference alone is staggering.
Oh, unbelievable, Jim. And this guy is acting like he doesn't have a care in the world.
What is this guy thinking, Ron?
Well, this is one of those rare moments where I actually find myself at a loss for words. I can hardly bear to watch.
It's no contest. Every day, people tempt fate and die trespassing on railroad tracks. Railroad tracks are more dangerous than you think. See tracks, think train. For more safety tips and information, visit ctracksthinktrain.org.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
And this is Linda Kerns, live and local on 1210 WPHT. I am filling in for Jimmy Fallon on the Jimmy Fallon Show. I will be back tomorrow night again, 7 to 10. Justin, do I have to bring you dinner again tomorrow night?
There is nobody else working the holidays except for me and him. So
the answer is yes.
Yes. It would be nice. Thank you.
And I'm also filling in on January 2nd for Dawn Stensland from 10 a.m. to noon. And I want to remind everyone that our very own Dawn Stensland is working at the Mummers Parade. She'll be hosting. And if you Google how do I watch the Mummers Parade, you can find all sorts of options to find how to watch both Dawn and her beloved husband, Larry Mente, hosting the Mummers Parade.
Get your yearly fill of Dawn and Lair Bear on New Year's Day.
Hey, it's a great way to start the new year.
There you go.
With Dawn Stensland. Well, we do have a caller on the line. Justin, should we let him on? What do you think? I mean, I think he thinks this is his big break. I mean, does he think like Hollywood's waiting? Should we let him on? It's your call, Justin. What do you think?
You know what? I'm still in a festive giving mood. Let's let your brother have his time.
All right. So I'd like to welcome my brother Timothy Kerns, who is trying to establish himself. I don't know what we call it, an AI music producer. Tim Kerns, are you on the air?
I am here.
So we were talking about you earlier because I had a real caller call in to talk about the really, cool stuff about data centers. But when Justin told me I had a caller, I got this fearful look on my face because I thought it was you to talk about your AI songs. But you texted me and said that you want to defend yourself. So I
was driving around and I felt like I was getting badmouthed a little bit, and I felt like I had to call in and somehow defend myself. I was hoping that Justin could listen to the music and tell me what he thought. But again, if I do play this song, you gotta, and it's all clean and it's all 100% written by me. You have to let the song play, and so you hear it, and you can't be commenting on it as the song is being played.
Okay, well, we're not going to let you play like a multiple minute song, but I am blaming Justin because Justin asked a question and he said, well, what genre is it? And I think when we ask you questions, it like encourages you, right?
Well, I'll explain it. Let me explain it to both. I tried to explain it to you before. I'll explain it to Justin. I use the app Suno, and what you can do on Suno is you write the song, so it's 100% my lyrics, and then you use AI to pick whether you want a male vocal, female vocal, what type of music genre you want, whether it's country, pop, rock and roll, and then you give it prompts like how you want it to be, play the guitar or the drums, and how you want them to emphasize certain words and certain choruses. And you do it enough and you keep tweaking it, and it starts to come out to how you want it. So I always have it in my mind how I want it. And after a while, sometimes it takes me 20, 30. And when I actually talked to Mike Opelka about it, sometimes it takes up to 50 times doing it. And once we get it, we're happy with how it sounds. So I have 2 Christmas songs and 2 country songs. I wanted Justin to pick what he would like to hear, and that's the one I would play. I'm any of these 4, 2 Christmas songs or 2 country songs. What does he want to hear?
Well, how's he going to play it, Justin? How's this going to work?
Yeah, how are you going to play it?
Well, right now I have it on. I called in on a different phone, and I have my phone next to me. So again, it's not going to come through a Bose sound system, but it's going to. You'll hear it as crystal clear as I can.
I don't know, Justin.
Do you think you can give me a 30-second snippet of your favorite Christmas song and your favorite country song?
Terrific.
Wait,
terrific.
Are you
and then I'll be listening to you. And then if I hear you say, "Let me hear the other one," but this one is called "Flat Broke at Christmas." Okay?
Okay.
Flat Broke at Christmas. It's a holiday fun song. You ready, Justin?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Oh, jeez. Go ahead.
All right.
We don't hear anything.
It's a holiday.
Yeah, Timothy, I don't think this debut's working because the sound's not coming through.
You know what? You know what, Tim? Hold on for a second. I got an idea.
Right.
I got an idea.
Tim, this is not working. Playing it into the into the phone. Boy, if any of the listeners are tuning in just now, this is a professional radio station.
We are legitimate this is a professional radio station.
Tim, if you can hear us, we can't hear the songs, but you can probably send a clip to Justin. I think he has to work on his presentation. What do you think, Justin?
I have an idea, but I need him to. He's still gone. I had to check. Still gone.
I think he thinks he's making his big debut, and we can all hear it.
Because what I'm thinking is, this is going on more than 30 seconds. But what I was gonna say is he can email me the 2 songs, and we could play them in their own segment tomorrow.
Okay.
But I'd like to have him hear me say that.
All right, I stopped.
Wait, hold on a second, Tim.
Hold on.
I don't think you realize that the sound wasn't coming through. So we really couldn't hear it, and we might have been kind of joking around while you were playing the song. I do want to confess right on air. But Justin has an amazing idea, which is if you email him the files, he can clip it, and tomorrow night we can actually play it, actually professionally through the radio station equipment, and it'll come nice and clear. Because when you did it, we couldn't really hear it.
It sounds like when you're on hold, and it's kind of crackly. It's not crystal clear quality like it would be if I played it through our computer.
Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll send you tell me you can tell me off the air whatever what the number is, and I can send you the 4 files, and then you guys can cut it and play it, and I can call in and explain exactly how these are written and how AI can really help somebody with this music.
Tim, is this going to be your new job to try to sell these songs? Where are we going with all this AI music?
It's not just a new job. I'm retired from my career that I had, and it's just something that I really enjoy doing. I've always been good at creative writing and songwriting, and it's just something that I have a knack at.
So other than Mom, have you gotten positive feedback? Because I know I haven't been very encouraging of this little...
I've already had some local people I've tried out singing, but I haven't found people to sing the songs exactly how I want them to be sing. But we've had people try to sing some of the songs, some local talent, and at this point I'm not happy with how some certain people sounded. But I will eventually find the right people to sing these songs how I want them to be sung, and with the right singer with these lyrics, I know it'll do well.
Well, I guess it's not the worst hobby to have, right, Justin?
No, it's. I mean, Opelka loves doing it, and he makes great. He had that one country song that he had. I think a station in Tennessee of all states picked it up and actually put it into their rotation of music they play.
He did. He sent it to me. It was like a political song a little bit about Trump and stuff, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. So it's there's legit there was an AI artist that was in the Billboard top 50. So there's real credence behind being an AI songwriter.
So I'm really pouring a lot of cold water on this. Is that what you're saying, Justin? I'm not being encouraging enough.
Being a little bit of a Debbie Downer.
Well, I mean, when you're at work and somebody calls you and keeps saying, "Can you listen to the song?" And by the way, when you listen to it, you have to listen to the whole thing. And I'm trying to work. It's hard to get really enthusiastic about it.
But here's what I'm going to say: as long as Justin can keep an open mind, and I don't know Justin. This is the first time I've spoken with Justin. I'm going to send them these 4 songs. I have 14 or 15 of them, but these are 4 really good songs. I'm going to send it to him. I just ask him that he listens to them, and then we can hear his opinion as well tomorrow. I love anybody's opinion because a lot of people have heard these already. I've played these for a lot of different people.
Okay, well, A little later, I'll send you Justin's email, and we can get that set up for tomorrow night, because I do have some guests tomorrow night, but my docket's certainly not full, and this might be a good little entertainment there for the audience.
This might be your most listened to show, and you'll be receiving the most calls after we play these snippets.
And do you think this is going to be your big break, and you're going to go all Hollywood on us?
I'll never go all Hollywood. Do I expect to be at the Grammys in 2026? Possibly. And you guys can both have a seat. I'll secure a seat for both of you if that happens.
All right. Well, Tim Kerns, thank you for calling in. I will send you Justin's email a little bit later, and we'll get this whole bit set up for tomorrow night. And I'm not sure. What time are you on tomorrow night? I think I'm going to be in AC gambling a little bit in the morning and early afternoon. I'm going to be on from 7 to 10 p.m. tomorrow night, sitting in for Jimmy
7 to
Fallon.
10. I'll make it work. I will make it work.
Okay.
I will make it work.
Well, good luck at the casinos, and hey, maybe if you hit it big, you'll kind of abandon this whole AI music thing.
Well, it's my oldest's 22nd birthday. I took him down there. His name's Michael. I took him down there when he was 21 to celebrate, and we're going to shoot back down there again to play a little bit and have some fun. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Tim, for calling in, and happy birthday to Michael.
All right. Very good. All right. I'll wait to get the email. Thank you. Justin, nice talking with you.
Nice talking with you too, Tim.
All right.
I don't know, Justin. What do you think? I mean, that whole thing of playing the song, he's holding one phone off. I mean, he was ready. You got to give him A for enthusiasm.
He has chutzpah. I'll give him that. He's got some chutzpah.
I mean, give him A for enthusiasm.
I am excited. From what I could hear through the crackles, it did sound half bad.
All right.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
And now we're creating a monster. I'm not sure that was a good idea.
Your
but
problem,
now,
not my problem.
Now we have something to look forward to tomorrow night. But right now we're going to take a break. This is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT, and we will be right back.
Every man should have their health optimized. Forte Men's Health offers a unique approach, providing individualized solutions that address a wide range of critical issues. Dr. Michael Atanasio supports you with cardiovascular disease prevention, improvement in erectile dysfunction, testosterone replacement and enhancement, nutrition counseling, and weight control, all in one place. Reduce the need for multiple specialists. Visit ForteMen'sHealth.com and make an appointment today for personalized health care. ForteMen'sHealth.com. With one doctor, one location for life. ForteMen'sHealth.com.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra and the story of Philly sports put to music at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey, February 21st.
He does a lot of parodies of different songs. To see it all come together was just awesome. And then the whole family.
There's just so much talent on that stage.
Joe Conklin's really funny. And I love the Frank Sinatra guy. And I thought the drummer was fabulous. Go Joe, go Birds. It was awesome.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm and Philly sports put to music at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 21st. For tickets, go to JoeConklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Oh! Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-352-9239. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-352-9239. 800-352-9239 or biglou.com.
Oh, the book lover's heart. It's too healthy for words.
And the nature lover's heart, it flies high with the birds.
See the art lover's heart, throbbing vibrant with color.
And the food lover's heart, it's as sweet as a cruller.
Hear the music lover's heart, how it's always in tune.
And the night lover's heart shines as bright as the moon.
But the heart of someone with pulmonary hypertension, PH for short, labors. PH puts unbearable stress on the heart, which can cause death from heart failure. And it's often misdiagnosed as asthma. But with early, accurate diagnosis, new treatments are helping people with PH live longer and better. The Pulmonary Hypertension Association gives hope to PH patients and caregivers. We want people to have
A heart that is strong for a life rich and long.
We're putting our heart into finding a cure. Learn more at phassociation.org. That's phassociation.org.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
And we are back. This is Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy Fallon on 1210 WPHT. You can get us on the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio, YouTube, regular radio. Call in at 855-839-1210. Obviously, people take us very seriously with the call-ins. My brother took me very seriously, so we welcome anybody to call in. So we're winding down 2025. It was quite the year here in Philadelphia. Of course, we had we won the Super Bowl. Who can forget that? But I'm kind of sad that 25 is coming to an end because it won't be the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl anymore once we turn the clock into 26. But if they win in 26, then we can call 26 the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl. It was also the year that our mayor on a national stage couldn't spell the word Eagles. Does everyone remember that? Instead of saying the chant, EAGLES, Eagles, she managed to misspell it. It became viral. It became a meme that our own mayor couldn't spell Eagles. So I'm wondering if she'll do that again. And we also got a pope from a local pope.
I've got the mayor saying the thing if you want to experience it one more time before the year's out.
Should we do it one more time? Yeah, let's hear it.
ELGSES, Eagles!
I mean, seriously, it wasn't even close. It was like she was making it up. And I mean, if there's one thing that you know how to spell if you're from Philadelphia, it's Eagles. I mean, how could she mess that up? I just don't get that. We also got a local pope. Who would have ever thought we would have had a pope who went to school in Delaware County? I mean, I just don't. That kind of makes 2025 pretty surreal. And we only have 2 days left in 2025, and I know this is the time of year when all these people start to do all their resolutions. But I think that kind of almost sets you up for failure because then you list these resolutions, and then if you don't do them, you kind of feel bad. But I read this really cool article, and I thought that I would kind of quote from it as we round out this show to give you something to think about. And this woman wrote it for the New York Times. Her name's Jancy Dunn, and she wrote an article that says 7 questions to ask yourself for a happier new year. So it's a little bit easier on you than making all these resolutions. And her 7 questions are, when did you feel the most joyful and carefree? So if you think about that question and then think about going forward, if you can capture those moments, maybe you'll have a more carefree and joyful new year. What gave you energy and what drained it? I know that a lot of things give me energy. I know what drains it is Justin, my producer. So maybe next time I guest host, they can assign somebody else to me. No, Justin, I'm just kidding. You've been an awesome producer for me, especially because I'm new at this.
I was going to say, good luck finding anybody that's going to pull a double for you, Linda, like I am.
And put up with me. Here's another question she said in her article. What seemed impossible, but you did it anyway? I think that's a great question to ask because sometimes we get so afraid to do something and then we get paralyzed and then you do it and you manage it and you're really proud of yourself. And what habit, if you did it more consistently, would have a positive effect on your life? So a lot of times we do have habits, we do good things in our life, but if you don't do them consistently, they don't help us as much as they could. So this is better than kind of coming up with something new. You can just take something in your life that you know is good and just turn it a little bit more into a habit, whether it's keeping in touch with friends. She writes in her article, taking a walk after dinner every night, just something that you want to move into your daily your own daily habit. And what did you try to control that was actually outside your control? That's a great one because I think that if you try to control things that are outside your control, you're just setting yourself up for failure, and that's not going to make for a happy new year. And her last question is an interesting one. Is there anyone you need to forgive in 2026? I like that because why carry all that negative energy into 2026. So think about 2025. Think about who you want to forgive. It can be good for your mental health, and stop letting all those past actions just control you. So those are some questions you can think about leading into 2026. I will be back tomorrow night here on the Jimmy Fallon Show from 7 to 10 with Justin. I know that I give him a hard time, but he's been so awesome to me, and he teaches me everything. And I am new at this. I'm new at this guest hosting, but Justin has made it so easy for me. I don't want to forget Dan Prokowski, who really helped me with booking guests. So everyone who listens to the station knows how supportive everyone at 1210 WPHT is. But I am glad that I had this time with Justin. Don't forget to book me, though, Justin, on the Zioli Show, because I really need to talk to him about that dog. And once he's back at work and back on the show, I want to really see if he really thinks that whole dog thing was a good idea. So, Justin, do you have any thoughts about the new year as we round it out?
Using what you said, forgiving negativity, I take the official pledge to not be negative about Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni until Sunday. And then, new year, new me.
Okay.
We'll see how angry I get at Kevin Patullo on Sunday.
Okay, well, I mean, it's kind of like a grudging, that you're pledging not to be angry for just a couple days. That's what.
Hey, if I'm lucky, they'll surprise me, and I won't get angry for 2 weeks.
There you go.
Maybe 3. Maybe they win the Super Bowl again, and I don't get angry at Nick Sirianni or Kevin Patullo until September of next year.
Do you think if we win the Super Bowl again, our mayor is going to be able to spell the word Eagles? What do you think?
I doubt it. She'll find a new way to EGLSES. I think that's what we're looking at this year, hopefully.
I mean, there's so many reasons for when you get embarrassed by being from Philly. I mean, I love Philadelphia. This is my home. I think it's the greatest city on earth, but there are a lot of things that embarrass us, and that was the big one. And I just don't know what she's thinking. I see that like on bumper stickers. I even think people have it put on their license plates because, how could you not?
That's going to be a defining trait of Mayor Parker's tenure, misspelling Eagles. And that's so Philadelphia.
It is so Philadelphia. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Please tune back in tomorrow night from 7 to 10 and from 3 to 7 when you will hear Mike Opelka warming up the audience for me until I can get here at 7. And as you heard, it sounds like we're going to be playing some AI music from my brother. That Justin will have a little homework there to test it out, and he'll pick some good clips for us. So until then, have a great evening. Every day is a gift, so unwrap the gift of today, and I will see you tomorrow night. This is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT for Jimmy Fallon.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing.